Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Benefactor at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Kate, Felicia, Nick, and Corinne with their adventures in Alaria. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the game. Check out the options in the chat bar. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link below or vote towards the session twist by being a subscriber. So let's rejoin the players as they play episode, looks over here, 79 of the Benefactor. Welcome back, everybody, and hello to our players. How are you all?
Hello.
Yeah, good.
How do I do this?
I got coffee.
Yes, we've taken a week off, haven't we? So, yeah, I kind of needed that as well. I mean, at the moment, I've been trying to get my head back into writing. It's like I've got a bunch of half-finished stuff. Not even half-finished, like 7/8 finished stuff. And I'm like, come on, brain, over the finish line, please.
Come on, brain, you know, think of things.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Genesis medieval thing, which actually talking to Balbrith the other day was really helpful. I didn't know he knew so much about the Dark Ages. I was like, oh, you know more than me about my campaign. You can point out how I went wrong later. So that's a Genesis medieval. And then I've got the 10-part pirate game, which is coming up. So let's talk about that now. So that's a Forsaken adventure that actually Corinne kind of inspired me to do. And by inspired, I don't mean she just kind of told me make a pirate game. Which
I mean is something she would do.
You would definitely do that, yeah. But no, in this case, she was talking to me about something, and suddenly little spark went off, and I was like, yeah, but it would be more than a one shot, but less than a campaign. And then kind of plotted it out and went 10 sessions. Yeah, I'll commit to 10 sessions on this. And it says a little bit more about the Forsaken, who we had on the charity stream. So the lore behind them, who are they, why are they that way? How is it they have the abilities that they have, because they have some kind of strange abilities that some of the other pirate factions don't have. And yeah, I'm gonna throw something like that together, and it's gonna be cool.
By the way, I commissioned the character in one shot. I commissioned a piece from Felicia. If you would go to her Twitter if you want to see it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really nice. Really, really nice.
Also, she's taking commissions.
Yes, I am taking commissions. Please commission me. It's my birthday in like 2 weeks. I want money so I can bake a cake.
I was about to say, how much money do you want for the cake? Is this going to be an epic cake thing,
200. I'm going to make...
It's a 400
I've already figured out what type of cake I want to make. And it's basically a vanilla sponge cake with a layer of Swiss meringue on top of it. And then I'm going to have a layer of homemade vanilla custard and whipped cream with vanilla in it, because I don't like normal cream.
So we're not doing the session today. What we're going to do is just listen to Felicia talk about food.
No, my stomach will start rumbling far too loudly.
Yes, and in that layer of cream and custard, there's also going to be slices of strawberries, because I'm going to have strawberries on top too. So it's technically 2 layers, but it's like there's some cream and custard in between.
I'm with you, Hermit. Yeah.
Yeah. And a Ceased Lunchbox is apparently going to order 20 commissions. So good luck with that.
Biggest cake ever. A cake you can live in.
Yes.
Okay. Well, great. Yeah. And welcome back, Nick. Because I just realised this is the only night of the week I actually play with you. So I was just like, I haven't spoken to him in like 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, I'm hiding. I like my little hermit cave.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm having to stop myself just descending into me in an effectual man cave with Mordheim and No Man's Sky, and coming out of it kind of going, I've got all these things in my brain of what I want to do, and it's largely just a big work list on No Man's Sky.
I do find, though, that screaming at people as they pass by, please come in and talk to me at the top of my voice, tends to ensure that I'm left alone.
Please come talk to me. No.
Please come and talk to me.
That's it. You've managed to
run away.
You've cured the problem I have in Tesco's. Every time some arsehole can't wait for 10 seconds for me to pick up a pint of milk, as he approaches me, I'll just go, touch me. And then he won't come anywhere near me. Good stuff. Reverse psychology. We'll do that.
Yes. Just creep them out and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
anyway.
Just, as you're picking up the milk, just be like, this is for my bath.
Based me in this.
Or just be like, I like to put the milk in first.
Oh, a war just broke out somewhere in Britain for that.
I honestly don't see the difference.
There is a difference.
Leave. You can leave.
But again, I never have milk in my cereal anyway. I always have yogurt.
Oh, no, he's not talking about cereal.
No, I'm talking about tea.
Oh.
Ever. I mean, to be fair, you also don't put the milk in the bowl first, because that's just weird.
That is really weird.
That would be a weird way to do it with cereal, definitely, yeah.
You always fill up the bowl as much as possible with cereal, and then you pour the milk so that it won't overflow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if it's a weird type of cereal that all floats on top, you have to tamp it into the milk.
Yep. But yeah.
Also, the crunchy dry cereal at the top is always really tasty when you get to the mushy parts. So,
I hate
we
the
have
mushy
officially
parts.
we have now officially become a food stream.
Yeah.
So
you're talking with someone who likes to bake.
D&D is
I
actually
made
for
snacking
dessert
bread
and
earlier.
more dessert.
we're all re-rolling characters where we're like chefs. And
You didn't disappoint me, Kate.
We should do a one
Desserts,
shot.
and where's she going? More desserts? Yep.
Kate, how is your sourdough going?
Oh, we don't talk about the sourdough. The sourdough is a touchy
Sarah went
subject.
to live on a farm.
Okay.
Did you need to take it out back behind the shed and shoot it?
No, luckily she just went really well down the drain, to be honest.
Did she end up looking like something out of John Carpenter's The Thing?
I was surprised. Like she looked kind of okay. I just couldn't be bothered. I like the idea of it, but after growing one and it not working, and then after growing another for a whole week, and I was like, Sarah's gonna make it. This is gonna be fine. I'll get the ready to go. Try this float test. It doesn't float. Why doesn't it float? I thought it was meant to be ready. Oh, you're meant to like feed it at a certain time, and then after a certain amount of time, you like that. And it's like,
yes,
I am not good enough with timings to make sourdough. I just don't think it's gonna happen for me, because you have to like pretty much spend 24 hours just at certain times doing certain things, and then half an hour later you fold it in a bit more, and then you fold it in a bit more half an hour later.
There's a reason why I don't use sourdough, but instead use yeast cubes that we have in Sweden.
Yeah, baking bread is fine.
With that.
I've baked a bunch of bread recently. One of the latest ones being an entire camembert with cooked onion on top, folded into bread and baked, and it was lovely. So, but that didn't take very long at all. So,
no,
yeah,
it doesn't.
This really is a
instant
food
yeast
stream.
all the way. I'm sorry,
but I do love the fact that Kate went
everywhere.
from the spectrum of naming it so that she could form a bond with it to I'm fucking done with this.
I
just like completely personal to completely affable.
I got myself a plant instead. I like plants.
I'm gonna be honest, my tomato plant Patricia has seen better days. She is not entirely happy, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Are you watering her?
Yes, I'm watering
probably
her. I'm
too
opening
much.
the window so she gets fresh air, and she's standing in the sun the entire day. I don't know what's going wrong, but some of her leaves are yellow.
What were you gonna say, Nick?
Well, I was going to say is, Kate, did the time between forming this emotional bond and then murdering your sourdough last approximately 45 minutes?
No, surprisingly, I left her in a cupboard for a few weeks, and then went, I should probably deal with this.
It's bonding, neglect, then murder.
I feel worse for my chat, who might have got more bonding experience than me. Actually, it's like, how's Sarah? Let's not talk about Sarah anymore.
Anyway,
I made an owl today. But
it's on the Discord.
Josephina.
Yeah.
Can everyone else see on the Discord? Is it hiding? Is it on a public Discord?
No, it's on the public Discord.
Check out our Discord to see a sewn owl.
But Corinne, bring her up.
I recommend this with all hobbies. Instead of going out and getting the full 400-pound pack with all the bells and whistles, I said just get a single pack. If you don't throw it out the fucking window by the end of it, and you actually enjoyed the experience, then buy something more. But please don't just go buying like a sewing machine or something like that, because I've known people who have done this.
Yeah.
Where they've spent inordinate amounts of money and then gone to use it using every convenience possible in the hobby. And the fucking language, I'm just there like, why? Why didn't you dip your toe in rather than just diving into this hobby? I've seen it with mini painters.
Because, Simon, I have no shame. I never have had any shame. I will die shameless. Because I hate myself on so many levels.
There.
With you.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we play some D&D? How about that?
Yes, let's play some Dungeons.
Right, let's do that. Let's do
Dragons!
So,
The certain dose.
when we left off, you guys were still on the ship. It was around about not more than 6 hours into Enola appearing dramatically into your lives once again. And a certain amount of heart-to-heart between Enola and Farewell. A little bit of plot exposition for you all, as Enola wanted to set the record straight. It seemed to be something that was important to her, something that she needs to get off her chest, and she wanted to set the record straight. For those of you who know enough about the Fae are very much about tales, legacies, legends, and there was something that she just needed to change by making sure the record was straight with all of you, but in principle, Farewell. And she did point out that at some point, Farewell will have to have a diplomatic discussion with her father. She would sort out the immediate problem, but he would want to speak with Farewell in the long run.
I've avoided my problems so far. I'm not planning on changing that anytime soon.
Bye.
Oh, I wouldn't say you avoided them. I mean, you went into the Oraculum.
And
Twice.
yeah, twice, and almost died twice.
But, you try hard. The night starts to draw in. She came in at around about the mid to latter half of the day. And as the sun sets, you can see Enola rushes up to the side of the ship and starts to watch as the sun starts to project these beautiful colors, amethyst, these kind of burnt terracottas and oranges, starting to crest the horizon. And as she watches, you can see that tears are rolling down her cheeks, but she's smiling.
So Simon, did we not also find out that the Summer King is fated to fight the architect or something big plot point like that?
Yes.
Yeah, no, she froze saying, I found him. That's where we left off, actually. It was a pretty intense moment, I remember now. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah.
I just suddenly unclicked.
And you can approach her about that all you like. I'd forgotten that we paused exactly on that point. If you want, we can go back and talk about it. Or now that she seems to be a lot calmer and the time seems to have passed, you can approach the subject with her now.
Yeah, because I think we said let's not talk about it anymore because she's currently going into this weird thing where she suddenly gets a sword and is about to stab someone.
Well, if she's run out of, if she's gone out though to look over the side, this is maybe a perfect moment. Like, okay, what the hell was that all about?
You're asking me? You know more about her than I do.
This was new. I have never. Was she talking about the architect? Was she I
assume so.
Zoned into that? I thought she was.
Either way, it was very hot.
not important and kind of weird because
really
in a relationship. But
Hey, I'm just saying. I totally get why you fell for her.
Sure. I mean, at that point, though, it felt like she was channeling her father, so there's other things to think about there.
We all have our parents in us, which...
Oh, yeah, no, but she really...
Yes.
I actually thought that...
I can't wait for you guys to meet my mother. It's gonna be great.
I really don't. I can't really wait. I can really wait.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Simon's had to do preparation for it.
Look, we can deal with that in a moment. The important thing is time's getting on.
Yes. Go spend time with your lady while you still have it.
Yes. And for the love of God, use the other ship
Yes.
and have some fucking privacy.
Yes. Do not do anything in this cabin. We all share this cabin.
Really?
Okay. I like seriously.
That was not
I can.
where I was going.
I don't need to do that. That is no. If I use the other, how do we? Can we attach them by a rope? Because I cannot sail a ship and spend time with Enola.
We have enough crew that we can skeleton that one, and the other crew, whilst you are having some privacy, will keep out of your way. You only need a number of sailors in order to just sail it in a straight line. They're not going to be doing anything fancy. If danger happens, everybody is immediately shepherded across to here. We collapse the other one down back into its brick, and we're all fine.
Okay, let me find out if that's what she wants to do. Considering we spend every evening together / day there in a way, she might want to actually spend time with other people who are not just me, like you guys and the crew, and just being here generally. Well, yeah, sure. It's a thought.
That you can fly around and do stuff.
Exactly, we can do that. Maybe rather than get a whole other ship out and get attacked by sharks and things on that ship. But anyway, again, thank you for doing this, even though reasons. And I walk out.
You're in trouble, farewell.
Oh, when am I not in trouble?
Very true.
Very true.
I've just come to the whole point of just accepting that that's going to be my lot for the immediate future, and we'll just go from there. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, I've already died once.
Yes, true. You already died once.
Yes.
Let's not make a habit of that, though, please.
No.
It's a lot easier if you lot
I
do it.
don't have the means necessary to bring you back again. So, well, I didn't do it this time, but I don't have the means to bring you back. So we're gonna have to work on that.
Or
Until
if you die,
I can
please
create new clones, then we will be in a better place.
No more clones.
just make sure
No
you
more
leave a
clones.
body behind so we can take it to a temple and pay the very nice priests to bring it back.
Or,
That also works.
as I was trying to get across, we spend a little time working in the whole fighting as a team now that we don't have Aiden anymore in the front. With me.
Yes. It is very
Okay.
unfortunate that all of you decided to jump into the water.
I don't think Cora exactly decided. I think she was thrown off the ship, wasn't she?
I don't know. I was in the water.
Aura remembers.
I was kind of getting, yeah. Still, just less of the dying, certainly less of the clones. Please don't make a clone of me. I really would hate to find out that you're making clones of us. That would be a violation of our friendship on a number of levels. That
As I said, I can't do that yet.
It's the yet part that, again, that worries me. And I really want to make it very, very clear from the get-go. No clones.
Coming on real farewell.
No clones. Promise
I
me
shall
no clones.
ask for your permission first when I get the means to do it.
No, sorry, you're not listening to me, Glory. No clones. Promise me no clones.
Well, at least not of you all. If that's the case.
Do you know what? I'll take that for now. I'll take it.
I mean, I don't even know if they've made any of me back home, but that's another thing entirely.
Oh, I can guarantee there's at least 3 of you in a vat somewhere.
I mean, isn't the whole competition thing in your society like the point of that you can actually kill each other and that's a thing? So there
Yes.
are no clones.
However, based on the reputation of what she's told us about her mum and her father and how they operate, they will plan for a contingency of, well, she has to learn, and thus if she dies, then they just pop the clone out and they go, well, now you've learnt the ultimate lesson, go finish them off. I'm understanding your culture far more than I should have.
Oh no, it's not that complicated. But yes, basically. Also the fact that Auntie has blood samples of every single family member in order to keep track of us.
Right.
Oh.
Also remember, your auntie can't spy on you right now, because I'm around you. Because I have a thing that makes people not able to spy on me.
Oh, I'm sure you do, sweetie.
Oh, no, I actually do.
That's not what she meant. Anyway, plans. What are we gonna do?
Set you up.
We
Yes, that was one of the plans.
Oh, does the torture never end?
No.
You do recall, as I just said about a couple of minutes ago, I died today.
Yes, okay, sure. You
Okay,
need to
maybe
get a
let's-
few days to get to know your new body so you know what to do. That is
Yes, maybe-
fair.
Yes, maybe let's meditate a bit. That's what priests do, don't they?
Did I just kill Simon?
First of all, I'm not sure what you're implying when you word it that way.
I'm gonna be honest,
I don't know
either.
why I'm still
I said it.
stood here having this conversation with you all. I'm gonna go get some sea air. Oh boy, and I leave.
Okay. As you step outside, the ship seems to be going pretty well. There's enough wind behind the sails that no one's needing to row to correct. And yeah, you can see that a couple of the crew, in fact, are taking the time to rest. The large Goliath that you had recruited as part of your crew, who you've seen putting his back to the oars with great zeal. In fact, there's 2 oars at the front where he will sit in between the benches, holding 2 oars and row the entire ship. Not on his own, obviously, with the other ranks of rows, but the one rank of rows on the ship, rank of oars, sorry, on the ship. He actually does 2 at the same time. Yeah. That's normally, obviously, if there's partial wind, sometimes he's having to put his back into one oar whilst there's a couple of others on another oar, on the other oar. He's not rowing at all at this point. You can see that the oars have been pulled into the scuppers, and he's currently holding a wand, regular, player's handbook wand, and the tiefling, who is the second navigator, who's had considerably more work to do recently, is stood next to the navigation desk, and he's currently with his own wand pointing it at a small part of the ship that got scratched up during the fight. Right. Now, my good fellow, most magical items are very hard to form back. They're very resistant to damage, but they're very resistant to be repaired. Normally, it takes a master artisan. When the nature of the enchantment is transformative, much like the one that we have the ship here, it's very easy to put a couple of extra glyphs in to make sure that it's easily repairable as well. Thus, mending cantrip, as we practiced, he flicks the wand, and just part of a rail that's just been scratched. You watch as the scratch just, and the fibers of the wood just knit back together, and the varnish kind of over the top, and it's like it's never been touched. Right, now if you have a look down at the monkey down there, there's a there's a decent-sized scratch where I believe you created that with one of the Sehurgan. Smashed his head against it. Yeah, I did. And so if you want to go down there, and as we practiced, nice and neat, take your time, mending cantrip, and you'll see the monkey should just knit back together quite nicely. He goes down to the monkey, which you guys know is a rack that contains ammunition. If it's for a ballista, it will have huge, heavy bolts. If it's for a cannon, which this one is, it will be cannonballs. And this one is split to the point where on one half of it, you can't put cannonballs in because they'll just roll around too much. So he goes up and he's like, right, okay, ready. Go ahead. And you watch as the monkey just goes, clicks back together, and with the varnish, very heavy naval varnish, just suddenly becomes completely clear. He goes, hey, get the hang of this. Yeah, got it. Thanks. Take me a while to learn that one, but I don't know. When you explain it, it seems to be a little more straightforward. And he starts just wandering around the ship, repairing like little rips in people's clothes and things like that. And yeah, you just hear that go by, and you can see that Enola is, as I mentioned at the beginning, looking out on the sunset with a happy tear rolling down her cheek. She seems to be not paying attention to anybody.
I think you're ahead of me, Kate.
Yeah. I think I just stood just found a place and just kind of watched her from a distance. Usually it's like we're so in each other's faces, and I quite like just seeing her with back here in the material plane, like just looking like her old self, not all dressed up like some in fancy fae outfits and various things. And so I think Cora is just leaning up against the mast or somewhere, watching her, just looking out to sea and looking around and trying not hiding necessarily, but just not getting involved for now.
I'd say the only thing that you really notice is she's wearing the regular clothes. She looks like herself. As she settles back into the height and weight and all the rest of it that she was when you knew her as a half-elf. And as she's looking out to sea, and you can see that her fingertips are resting lightly on the rail, as the ship rolls, she just seems to move with it. Huge amounts of grace. And you can see that as she's looking over the rail, it's almost as if she is in this beautiful fae castle on one of the parapets, just staring out at the sight of the top of the castle. There's a huge amount of nobility and grace to her that you just didn't know to look for before. Even though she's dressed like a mortal commoner, there is definitely part of who she is deep down, the nobility that she has deep down that is inescapable now that you know that it's there.
Yeah.
And yeah, she is absolutely entranced with us. Anything anybody would like to do? Any conversations you'd like to have?
I mean, Eclipse, despite the joking, is gonna offer to Firewall to just help him focus a bit and just meditate or whatever he needs to do to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Doesn't. Yeah. It's not so much meditation. It's more prayer. And I don't really feel like praying. Sorry. It's a bit weird.
Sounds like what you need, though, rather than what you want and feel like.
Yeah. I've never been rather good at, though, doing what I needed to do. Once, I'm pretty good at those. Like, I really don't want you to try and set me up or clone me again. Please make sure she doesn't clone me.
I'll try.
And when I said earlier, like, please don't let her mess with my hair. I'm just starting to get to grips with having a different body and looking slightly different and having new hair, and I'm not quite sure how I'll react if I wake up in the morning and she's styled it, because I don't know how that'll turn out.
Yeah, we'll make sure you're conscious before we do anything to your hair.
And yet it still sounds like a threat.
And ask you beforehand and get permission.
A step in the right direction, I guess. Don't worry about it. I'm, like you said, I probably just need to focus. Focus will come with time.
Focus and, yes, probably do some praying. Some praying might be a good idea.
Maybe. We'll see. Depends on how I feel.
Okay.
I think I'd rather... I don't know. Done swimming. Swimming usually calms me down. That didn't work. Definitely gonna not mess with that flask again for a little bit. That's super dangerous. Although Cora got a Pegasus out of it, I mean, that was good. But then I started an interplanar war. Not so good.
Oh.
I mean, and you watch as Farrell pulls this, like, blue gem out of his pocket that's sort of got this maelstrom that's whirling inside. I mean, I've got this. And that, apparently, that summons an air elemental. I mean, that could be worth a good laugh.
Probably not right now.
Yeah, it's inappropriate, you know.
It really does sound like what you need is some one-to-one time with your god. Your religious types.
You know, the caravan was never this boring. There's always something to do. And that's not just like jumping from like wagon to wagon. There was always something to repair, or needing to forage ahead, or fix something up, or something new to see. There wasn't just water.
Well, this is sailing.
You, as you say that, Katya walks past with some fuel for the camping, the cooking stove that you have on here. And as you're saying, "Oh, this is really boring," you know, there's things to do. She kind of mutters to herself, "You could muck in with the stuff wood," kind of, and just then walks down into the galley.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the caravan and here. They're hired help, and that creates all sorts of weird hierarchical problems, because you offer to muck in because it's the right thing to do and you're a bit bored, but then, you're not doing it good enough, and you're paying us to do it, and all that other shit, and yeah, it's just not worth it. Better to stay
Maybe
out.
go write a bit in your diary.
You mean his the accomplishments of all his study,
Yes.
Yeah.
rather
Go
than the
bullet
Dear
journal a little
Diary?
bit.
Yeah, that's it.
Crafting.
You put down the thing that he pours his heart and soul into every single day as his diary.
His
Well, I
opus,
mean,
his
it's
great
kind
work.
of like the essence
you
of
write
a
it in a
diary.
special
you put
pen
down
you
your
only you
heart
can
and soul
read.
into it.
What is it but a diary if it's a pen that only you can read in?
He's doing a lot of really important stuff, and now he's going to have to write things about you in it
Yes.
that you won't ever get to read, but will be very cathartic for him to write.
Yes.
Kind of more like a diary than what you talk about.
Yes.
I will
Okay.
create my own spells. Damn it, my own divine school.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet, but I'm ready for that conversation. So yeah, you guys have pretty much found your place on the ship where you can have a bit of peace. And the only thing that happens for the next couple hours is sun completely sets. And just as it gets down to the point where there's just a slight corona on the horizon, without even looking back, Enola says, "It was always my favorite part of the day. Just because it just doesn't occur back home. The sun moves dramatically, and there are places you can go where it's night. But, when the sun never sets on your home, I don't know. It's...
Yeah, I can imagine that would be rather bad, the sun setting on the summer court. That's all sorts of end of the world sort of prophecy stuff.
You don't need any of that.
A shadow falls on us sometimes.
Yeah, but we're not talking wolves eating the sun kind of levels of dramatic.
Oh, no, that's only happened a few times. I mean, it's... Yeah, and you're right, it's bad. Certainly, we've become a lot busier during those times. But, yeah, it's why I've always loved sunset here on Mundus. I know, it's just... It's nice, isn't it? It marks the end to the day, to the efforts. It's a time when the world tells you, okay, stop. Take a rest. Don't think about all those things that are worrying you now. Just rest. Seek shelter, seek food, seek a comfortable place around people that you trust. And recoup, recharge. I always used to remember just lying there next to Cora, watching her sleep after pretending that I slept. And yeah, it was just nice, I like that Cora still sleeps. I mean, for one thing, it's easier to get her to me, but I'm hoping that she'll continue to sleep. I don't know how Father's going to have effect on her. But
what?
Yeah, it's...
I'm gonna stop sleeping, as well as living stupidly long.
She turns and says, "Well, it can happen. You can make sure it doesn't. You can will it to. You just need to keep hold of the mortal part of yourself, like I do. I can sleep sometimes. Not often, especially not now that I'm disconnected to Father.
I mean, sometimes feels like I don't sleep because I kind of fall asleep here, but I wake up pretty much straight away with you, so I guess it doesn't kind of, but it feels like there is at least a cycle. And yeah, it gives you something to mark off as a thing. If it all drags into one, where do you see the changes?
And you do wake up well rested at least.
Oh yeah.
It's only through your abilities that you're able to remember as much as you can of your dreams, but you are just dreaming, just like everybody else. So.
Yeah.
You just have twice as much memories as other people, that's all.
That's true.
Just.
I mean, if you really want to get into the heavy mechanics of it all, technically, when you're awake, you're asleep in the Feywild. You just don't have a body there. But your Fey being recharges itself here.
Right. Yes. It's all very complicated.
Yes. Sunset. Dusk. a time for resting. And it means you feel all the more excited when dawn starts to show itself. A new day, new possibilities, new saga, new stories. For us, it's just endless. Always
So,
endless.
talking of which, what do you want to do? You want to sleep? Or do you want to experience the night? Considering you don't really do that anymore.
I could try. I think it'd be nice to try for a nap for a few hours.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Good, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're not on this plane long. You should enjoy it as much as you can.
I've been thinking of getting a familiar. At
I
which
think
point, Eowyn
Eclipse would.
appears on her shoulder.
I think Eclipse would recommend
that's-
an owl.
Yes, owls are good. I think that flies overhead, lands on Clips's head.
Clink.
It is rather sweet. I think I would like to have a mundane familiar. No offense, Eowyn. And Eowyn's there saying, oh, none taken. I like it with Cora. Just, I don't know. Maybe kind of... the problem is I wouldn't really want it to be a
Cat.
fey spirit. Because a fey spirit, I'd know who it is. Also, no, I was thinking of maybe a celestial. I'll have to...
Athena Celestial.
Oh. And she turns and a string of celestial comes out of her mouth. And there's a... from the owl. Maybe. And just carries on looking at the sunset. You can see she's just kind of in this calm, wistful loop. All the intensity of the about an hour ago is gone, and this is 100% Enola. And Cora, you recall when she was there saying, she was playing with Tuck and saying that she wants a pet. This is pretty much exactly the same conversation from years and years ago.
I'm gonna take off the necklace that Farewell gave and show Enola. Like, hey, I don't know whether I showed you this in the Fate Wilds, but this is what Farewell got. It shows like some of the things we did. It's really cool.
She runs a hand over it, lightly brushing it with her fingertips. And this is the one that allows you to recall memories very clearly, isn't it?
No, that was given to my mom. This one
sorry.
has like pictures, but of things that happened.
Oh, yeah. So it creates pictures from memories. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
slightly different. Yeah.
It's like yes, it's not to remember a loved one or anything specific.
Yeah. In that case, yeah, she takes a look at it and she gushes over it for a good 10 minutes, kind of recalling the images and things. And she says, I should get some of my artists to do something similar. I remember times that it was you, me, Farewell, a few of the others that we used to hang around with. And, when we were in the Hock House, the Hock House just being a tavern that was nearby in Freetown. And it used to be one of the places that you used to get together and have a drink and all the rest of it. It was called the Hock House because also the guy behind the bar pretty much bought anything. So he had like this whole array of bric-a-brac nailed to the walls that people could either buy or sell or whatever. And very typical Freetown. It's more than one thing. The tavern was, the usual thing: food, drink, board. But also, they had people who would write things for you if you didn't know how to write, read things for you, read letters and that. It was very much a communal hub, and the second she mentions the Hock House, you can almost smell the kind of strange lime smell, because the guy kept the place impeccably clean. It was like a point of pride for him. And just her mentioning the name just evokes all of these sensory memories. She goes, yes, I think I'd like that. I'll get one of the artists to do a picture of us all around the table. And she mentioned some of the other people we used to run with, which I don't think we've ever named, but some of your old smuggler friends who used to smuggle things in and out of the city.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's nice to have, well, I would have thought it's nice to have a little bit of this life in that life. Rather than just to remind you, if you're not able to visit that often or ever. I don't really know how it works. I don't know how rare this is.
Well,
Seems
with
rare.
some preparation, it can be a little more often. My main reason for staying behind at the moment is to help Father. He's going through some issues at the moment. For once, not the Winter Court, but that's just us playing our role and them playing their role. There's no major malice in it, even though we are sworn eternal enemies. It's complicated, but no, this is
Makes
different.
total sense.
Father has a new enemy, and I think I found him. I'm not entirely sure, but let's just say we don't often get something this new and this different on our doorstep. Normally, we end up interacting with the mortals so that new things turn up, but they're rarely all that big. This is huge.
Yeah.
But we will be able to find out more about it now that I have a lead, at least. And you can see, that she's looking a little more grave, but then she kind of shakes it off and laughs and goes, "Look at me, going back into business again. I get one day, literally one day off, and all I can think about is work."
I mean, we can tell you more about it if you want to, but as you said,
Not
it's...
today.
No.
Not today. There will be a means by which we can meet in dreams. I will be able to provide Cora with the appropriate means for us to meet in future, in the same way that she comes to me. Albeit that I'll make sure that you appear in the garden. What's he looking at? And you can see there's a half-orc who has a telescope out, and he's looking out for the distance, and he goes, "I don't like this. Don't like this one bit."
Can I see what he's looking at?
Yeah, you can see in the distance. Looks like might be a bit of a storm coming, but yeah, he's just looking at it, and sorry. It's one of the older sailors that got taken on board. Otherwise, nameless guy, just this half-orc. And he just keeps looking back through it all and goes, "Captain, think we might want to put a bit more oomph behind the sails, if that's all right." And Savadri turns around and says, Sandera turns around and says, "Any particular reason why?" You notice that she doesn't question him that much. She's just asking why. She's not disputing him. That storm over there. Been watching it this last half hour. It's coming too fast, I know. Something different, something strange about it. Don't
Magic?
like it. Hard to bloody tell these days. Everything's magic. What is magic but the will of the gods? Well,
Does it seem like
the will
a...
of us.
Everything is magic, nothing is. Interesting.
No, I don't like that one bit. At which point, one of the other crew, human female, comes up and says, What are you belly aching about now?" And she snatches the telescope from him, and he kind of grunts at her. You can tell they've kind of been old friends. As she snatches it, she kind of gives him a little smile, and she goes, No, that's not good. That is not good at all. Captain, permission to go to the oars. And she kind of closes the telescope, gives it back to the half-orc. The half-orc kind of grunts again, pulls it open violently, and carries on looking. At which point the captain says, well, of course. And the human female walks down into the crew. Suddenly there's a susurrus amongst the crew as they're all talking. And they all, without a single word of complaint or hesitation, get to the oars and start pulling quite hard. You can hear there's grunts and things like that. Normally, to go that hard, they would want to go through the storm. That would be getting through a storm. But they're putting their backs into it when there's a fair old wind behind you. You're going fair speed. And there's a look of worry on some of their faces. Farewell has high enough scores now that you don't even roll.
Yeah, I go to the rear of the ship, and I use control water. Shape water, and I make sure that the flow of the water is favourable to our direction to help us speed us up.
Sure.
I'm gonna wander towards the captain, or person giving orders, which will most likely be the captain.
The captain.
Sandero.
You're the admiral.
Yeah.
Commodore.
Commodore.
What's the
Commodore,
concern? Is this doesn't look like a normal storm? What could it be? Do we need to
Sandero
prepare?
goes, I think they're just being a bit superstitious. It just looks like a storm and it's way off. And then as she looks at it, she kind of furrows her brow and goes, at least it looked way off.
What's the superstition?
Give me your, and she grabs hold of the.
It'd be someone disguising their own ship in a storm if they got.
No, it can't be.
What? Spit it out.
No one's been hit by one of those in years, decades.
Well, that would be our luck. What is it? Phil went off to the back, didn't he? Right, so.
Grub goes. It is though, isn't it? Did you see it? I saw it.
What is it?
I'm gonna head it. Are you? Is Eclipse out
Eclipse
with
is
us?
such a cat right now. What is it? I want to
Yes,
know.
stop playing these pronoun games. It's like, what is it? Just tell me what it is.
Eclipse is on the deck with us, right? Is Glory back in the cabin?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna wait until I hear what it is, but I'm wanna run. In fact, I'll mentally send Awen to go and alert Glory that things might be about to go down.
Yeah. At which point Awen says, "Tell me any juicy stuff on the way back." And there's this this little Tinkerbell type trail as she flies under the door, goes up to whatever Glory's doing, and goes, "Glory, you need it on deck."
Alrighty. What's going on?
And Grub turns to not just the captain, but the rest of you and goes, I think we have a dreadmerc. I don't want to be like one of them spooked and superstitious sailors, but I know it's just coming too fast. The wind's behind us. It should be going that way, but it's coming at us too fast. And you can see he's shaking. Big, burly half-orc, manages to pay his way on the oar, never complained at any of the job, and now he's scared. I've seen the face twice.
Have we had a long rest, by the way, Simon?
No,
Not since our battle, because it's not night.
This is evening.
The
so
same day, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're about to have a long battle, so
Yeah, you've had a short rest.
Yeah, we would have had a short
Short rest, yes.
which is all right for you, short rest class. Hello, Warlock.
Hey.
Warlock's like, I'm fine.
Well, it's fine. Farrell got all his hit points back.
And then
all his
All my spell slots, not all my spell slots.
you watch as Enola goes, Dreadmerc, closes her eyes, and then opens them again. The legend of the Dreadnought says that a ship of mutineers who died at sea could be cursed to travel the seas until the end of time, unable to ever be within the sight of land. They sail the sea as a perpetual storm of darkness as they bring part of the Shadowfell themselves to this world. They prey on other ships, looking to add others to the dead, but they aren't outwardly aggressive, more of a trap. They wait for... No, that's not right. They look for life. They approach life. As they do so, it encompasses them, and they are left there like a fly or an insect in a plant, not to drown, but to fester, because they'll never find their way out. The only way is to resolve them, I guess.
Okay, so let's not get caught. Anyone got any good ideas about making this boat go faster? I've got a couple of them, but I'm not sure how fast.
If
Just
we
one
get
of each.
caught, it's up to you, Farewell. It's all about dead people, and that's your specialty.
So we're not going to get caught.
Sandera looks through the thing.
Kate, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I haven't seen the face yet. It's just a storm. At which point, I would like Nick to do a perception check.
Yeah, of course. Fuck.
I can cast invisible.
Ooh, nat 20.
Yeah.
25.
Not only do you see the face in the swirling black mists that seem to be grey clouds at this distance, but you can hear the words on the wind, and only you. They are very faint, but like a whisper, they pass your ears. Traitor.
Oh, come on. I yell back at the storm. I died today. Like, is this just not enough for one day?
As you do that, you can see Sandera fumble the telescope, and she nearly drops it in the ocean, but Grub manages to snatch it as it drops from her hands, and she goes, "Put the wind behind us, I want speed! Katya, speed now!" At which point you can hear her just screaming barbarian rage as she herself grabs hold of one of the oars and just starts putting her back into it. The ship starts to lurch forward. Excuse me. To lurch forward. Enola goes, "What can I do? What can I do? What? You want speed?"
Yes, make the ship go faster if you can.
As
More wind?
fast as you can, or slow that. And I point at the storm because they keep screaming traitor, and I'm not sure which one of us they mean. It could be any of us.
Sandera goes, "It's none of us." Sorry, something's going down the wrong way.
Do you want to get some water, dude? Water. Hear you still. Kate.
I think it was a tea leaf in my tea.
Oh, I hate that.
Sandera goes, "It's none of us on board. The traitors on their ship. They were betrayed. It's traitors and mutineers, the worst form of hell, except they've escaped it and they're still up here."
I would still argue the hells are the worst form of hells, but we're getting into semantics again.
And Enola goes, "I'll do what I can." She gestures to the sky and goes, "Oh, no sun. Okay, I guess I'm using this from inside." And she suddenly looks around the ship, closes her eyes, projects forward, and there are now 5 other ships that look exactly like you. They are all around about, they're a few miles apart.
That helps.
Maybe. I've never tried to fool an undead before. Did I mention I've never fought an undead?
Oh,
And sometimes
get
that's
used
always
to
your
it.
first.
Yeah, I mean, we never fought an interplanar like demon before, but we did that a couple of weeks back. You know,
Yeah.
we're
One
fine.
of the
Not that
original
we're
creatures
entirely
of the
sure if
world.
he's a demon or not.
I'm
but
not
that's
good at
another
being
thing
unprepared.
entirely.
I'm a bloody princess. And she just kind of says it out loud, then looks around and goes, "Yeah, I forgot to mention that." And Sandera just looks at her and goes, "We'll put a pin in that." Pulls out her own and starts looking at it and goes, "Yeah, it's gaining. It's gaining. It's going to be honest."
Oh my god! I have not had a chance to prepare my spells for this level of bullshit.
The
I don't have enough spell slots for this bullshit.
The tiefling who's on top of the poop deck suddenly goes, "Intercept course," at which point about 5 of the crew go, "We know!" What was the last in it?
Shit.
I have one thing I could potentially do.
Go on, what is it?
So I have enough sorcery points that if I spend them all, I can get back 1 level 5 spell slots, and I can basically take over the ores with animate objects.
Ooh, and push it harder than they would be
Yes.
physically able to do. Ooh, that is a very good use of animate object.
Yeah.
Even the DM's having to go, I didn't consider that one.
I have a thought, but I don't know. I've never done it, and I don't know if it will work.
Good idea. Do it. Do it,
Go on,
Felicia. Do it.
Yeah, Felicia, do that. Kate, what's your idea?
I have, but I've never used Conjure Elemental.
Oh, do it! Because I've got an elemental as well. We could both make wind elementals and fill the sails.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah! Like either a water elemental somehow, but I think a wind elemental might be better. Or one of each.
I've got wind. You can do water, and we can do both.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what if the water one would
Yeah,
pull it
just,
along, or if the wind one would be in the sail, or if there's.
Well, let's get started with the animate objects. Let's get that started, and you guys can do
and then
with the elementals.
Do the water one, because then you can use the tide and the current and cut our draft down and make.
Yeah, I wonder
faster.
if it can almost like be sealed. You know, the sort of like slickness
underneath,
of the boat.
pushing us forward.
It's
like
just like
wave.
a buffer between us and the real water somehow. I don't know how elementals really work, but something like that might be a thing.
You think that a water elemental could probably kind of pull the water because they can control the water. They can pull the water kind of past the boat, or you could have it kind of push from behind. Either way, you would have all that a water elemental can do with a huge amount of water.
Yeah.
So the big question, Simon, is how big are oars considered to be?
What are the options?
Well, objects come to life at your command. Choose up to 10 non-magical objects within 120 feet of you that are not being worn or carried. Mm-hmm. Medium targets count as 2 objects, large count as 4, and huge count as 8. So it's normal, medium.
I would say they're probably medium size. So you could, was it 10? You could animate 5.
Yeah. Either way, that should.
In fact, they're a bit thinner than a humanoid. I'll give you 6.
Ooh.
3 on each side.
Yeah.
That should make us go a little bit faster.
Like symmetry.
Yes.
Cool.
I start straight away because it takes a minute of casting time. So as soon as I realise that I can do that, I might be able to do this. So get going.
Yeah, and I
one
take
action.
out
So mine starts directly. I just take over a few of the things.
You notice that the people who are rowing on those oars see what you're doing with them, and what they do is they help the oar. So the oar is animated, but the people are still pulling with the oar. So now that 3 rows of oars, 3 pairs of oars, are now kind of supercharged. They're really kind of going at it. Because effectively it puts an extra person on each oar.
Yeah, I take out that blue gem that I showed Eclipse earlier, I say the activation phrase, summon the air elemental, and just get it to start filling the sails with as much air as it can possibly do.
There is a miniature whirlwind that comes out of the gem. It manifests into this wind, roughly humanoid-shaped djinn-like creature with crackling lightning eyes, and it says it takes one look at you. And what is your preferred language? Is it Aquan or Common?
Well, the most spoken language, I think, for Farewell is Common at the moment, but his preferred language is well, the Aquan dialect of Primordial.
Sure. So it says to you in Aquan, your preferred language. It turns and says, "Master, I have been summoned, and I will obey the contract. What can I do for you?"
We are, and I point at that. We're trying to outrun that. So if you could fill the sails, that would be really great. We can need the wind to favour us and not favour them.
Yes, Master. And you guys watch as this air elemental spirals up into the air and then starts to blast the sails in this perpetual gale. And with that, the ship lurches forward violently. And between that and the extra oars, the speed is picking up to, well, put it this way, it's rocky. You're starting to plane. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cora, that elemental will be really useful right about now.
There's a kind of V-shaped
It takes
spray coming out from your mid-keel as the planing, as it hits each individual wave, there's this coming out.
Whilst I'm trying, Cora's casting her minute to keep casting. Can I use my control water to just try and calm this down so we don't end up smashing ourselves apart on the waves?
You know that planing doesn't break up the ship. It's got this lovely, great big ridge that goes down the length of the keel, and when a ship goes that fast that the front of it starts riding out of the water, all the waves just break on the keel. That's what's making this wave. Yeah.
I will keep an eye. I can't do a lot at the moment, so I will just grab one of the looking glasses and look at.
Do I have one of my inventory?
Okay.
The thing is, are we
As you
going
look at,
away, or is it coming towards us still?
you can see that what at the distance looked like a regular storm at sea. This is a rolling mist, a rolling grey-black mist that is rolling over the edge of the water. And now that you're looking at it, and it seems to be getting closer, you can see that there is an outline in the middle of it, which could very well be a ship. And as you're looking at it from the mist, suddenly this face goes in the mist. And
Hey, it's
then
the mummy!
the mist just... and then the face just goes...
It's the sandstorm
and
from the
turns back
mummy.
into mist.
We're running away from Davy Jones.
Yeah, it's a mummy
so
moment,
are we? Are we?
Can
are
I-
we seeming to be getting further away now, or what is it?
Well, it was kind of off and to the side, and it's kind of doing an intercept course to where you would be. You're guessing that you're probably going to have to outrun it by some way. Kate, your water elemental
Yes.
appears.
Oh, okay. I concentrate on it to help us in any way it can to keep
Gain
us
speed.
away from that storm. Yeah. Basically,
It dives into the water, and suddenly there's a kind of vibration under the boat as the water underneath the keel starts to go, and it's controlling the water under the boat to slip under it faster.
Give it a smoothest possible.
making
like,
you more hydrodynamic. Yeah.
and I will.
At this point, the
I
ship is
wanted to
going preternaturally fast.
Excellent. I am turning to. I've summoned the Pegasus. I summoned the Pegasus pretty early because I'm thinking maybe that they can just help push, whatever. But I turn to Enola and I'm like, if you need to leave, you leave. Do not stay for this. This is not your fight.
She turns around with a starry eyed and said, "And miss an adventure like this." She pulls out her wand and casts mage armor on herself, at which point she goes, "Oh, fuck it. slams her with a slamming wind of her wand. Her clothes explode, and suddenly standing in front of you is the Summer Princess again. And
Is she also a giant woman?
Is she a giant woman?
All I want to do is turn into a giant
woman. A giant woman.
I don't get the reference, but yeah. Suddenly she is. She's not wearing like the kind of ball gown getup, but she has now at least got the crown. She's wearing summer colors now, and she seems to have what seems to be wizard's robes, and she has got on one arm what seems to be light plate going down one arm. And she looks at it and goes, "Father?" And just seems to be looking intently at this as she starts directing all of the illusionary ships towards the Dreadnought.
Yes, I was gonna say, is the illusionary ships like helping us at all? Are they?
You have no idea. There's a bunch of ships that look exactly like you that's going straight towards the Dreadnought. But if you want, you can do me a survival check, which is the navigation skill, to see what kind of bearings that people are going.
You get an extra D4, Corinne.
Yay. That's gotta help.
It's better than nothing.
Gotta help my +0.
It's technically
It is going to bloody help if you've got +0.
It's about to say it gives you anywhere between a +1 and a +4.
Yeah.
Let's do.
Certainly
this.
make you proficient.
Good. Oh wow. 18 + 1. 19!
Yeah, you can see that the Dreadmerc seems to be ignoring the illusionary ships and heading you off. It's not going to where you are. It's going to where you will be.
Can we veer and just go up in an opposite direction? Is that possible in a ship? Can we? Because they're currently going to where we are going to be.
Bandera turns around and says, "Ordinarily, no, but we've got a bloody air elemental pushing us."
Yes. If we can make some kind of hard turn, because currently it's going where we are going to be, so if we can change course
It's on a
completely
collision
and throw it
course?
off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do we not? We just have to just try and
Pick a
outrun it?
direction and I can tell him to help us turn.
Ordinarily,
Pick a
ships aren't
direction.
known for being able to turn that easily. Normally, we have to be sympathetic with the wind, but we've got our own wind.
Let's do it.
Point a direction, Captain, and we will do it.
Yeah.
Directly bloody away from them.
Let's do it.
I look at where her. Well, look at where
Yeah,
she's
I look where
pointing.
she points, and I command the elemental to just as Cora does at the same time. Both of us just have this hive mind moment of just going.
Everybody make the athletics.
But hold on, does she point
acrobatics
at
check.
the thing?
Nope.
Apart from Felicia.
Wait, what?
Yeah, acrobatics check.
Acrobatics checks from everybody but Felicia.
I would also like to double check if Farewell pointed it in the direction of the cloud or not, because she pointed, I think, at the cloud, which is what I was trying to figure out.
No, she was pointing away from the
She
cloud.
said away
well-
from that and pointed. Is what
Yeah.
is that what Simon just did? So I was like,
Okay. You can.
I'm
you can
gonna
choose
try
the
and point it
character
away.
For this. Do me an intelligence check.
oh no, see if I'm having to roll for it.
We are not that dumb. Like, honestly, we're not that dumb.
I don't know.
They
In the
can
heat of the
choose
moment.
characters. As players, they can choose to make that mistake in the panic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's not too shabby as a roll.
I don't know.
Oh no, really?
I rolled a 7.
Oh.
7 plus.
Intelligence.
No,
it's
I
not
mean
saving,
as in
is
a
it?
total 7.
I mean, you got.
I rolled a 15
Okay.
plus nothing.
I have
so.
a +3 in my intelligence.
Well,
but I
I'm
only
gonna-
rolled a 4.
I'm gonna, like, Cora's gonna look and be like, she doesn't mean that, so the opposite, and she's gonna try and do this, but I guess the wind is counteracting us at the moment, so we kind of stall or something.
Everyone, I want your acrobatics checks, please, because they just got harder. as the wind pushes this way and the water elemental pushes this way.
Just correct it. Don't
We're gonna
be
rip
so
the ship apart. Okay.
In a bit of
Dex.
a day, I died.
I got a
21!
I got a 7.
22. I
Only
beat
one.
Eclipse on an acrobatics check.
Oh wait, acrobatics.
so-
yeah, not down. Same. 7.
Glory, you just feel your fabulous heels of spider climb bite into the deck momentarily as the ship lurches backward. Thankfully, almost everybody was sat down rowing the fucking ship at this point. So very few people had to make those rolls. Nick, you end up just grabbing a nearby fixture, holding on to it. Eclipse, with a what I should imagine is a kind of meow of disgust. Your claws bite into the wood of the nearest rail and the floor because you're barefoot.
Yeah.
Your claws just bite into the floor as this ship just goes. And Cora?
I got a
What did
7.
you get?
Did you not hear me? I got a 7. Now I face plant completely, I guess.
Yep, you faceplant. I mean, this is mostly just for telling the story rather than to give you any profound effect. You just down the deck. You notice that Enola is standing very much like Glory, perfectly still, as if she is just standing relative to the ship.
I think as I kind of like look up and see what's happening, and and I shout back at Farewell, like, no, the other way, away from the thing, not towards.
Panicked.
Okay.
and I redirect it the right direction away.
Reaction to panic.
I mean, to be fair, I said point and she pointed, but.
At this point, there's an explosion from the ocean right next to your ship.
Oh, God.
And a few of you panic thinking, fuck cannonball. But then landing on the ship, perfect superhero 3-point landing, is Yana. And she goes, what the fuck is going on?
We're getting away from that thing.
It's all down
Chasing
there.
us.
Yes, that one is ours. Don't worry about it.
Thad was being an idiot, but the ship is that storm undead ship. Flying Dutchman is chasing us.
Flying Dutchman doesn't exist due to the right reasons. But you watch as she looks back and goes, "Oh no, that's not good. That's not good." And she runs and leaps off the side of the ship.
I think
That's
Flying
what we
Dutchman-
said.
I think Flying Dutchman is in the public domain. Davy Jones and Flying Dutchman.
Either way, I
domain.
I
No.
want my own legends, not
Yes.
Davy Jones's locker. And so yeah, like the Mirelurk. Not the Mirelurk. Mirelurk's are completely different. That's me talking about
That's a Skyrim.
fucking
Not Skyrim. Fallout 4.
Fallout. Yeah, me talking Fallout before the start. The Dreadmurk is one of my things, and you can see it's gaining on you quite fast, and it's completely ignoring the ships. It's engulfed 2 of the illusionary ships, but it's clearly ignoring another one which is right close to it.
Yeah, no.
Enola goes, "Oh damn it!" and gestures with her hand, and the ships disappear. And instead, she says, "No. Ah, I remember." Gestures, and 2 plesiosaurs burst out of the water, and she goes, "Attack them!" At which point, only Cora can hear, "Yes, my lady," as 2 Fey Knights who have been transmuted to plesiosaurs start swimming towards the Dreadmurk.
I think sharks might have been. I don't know.
Cora,
those plesiosaurs are pretty awesome.
No,
Yeah.
we're not doing
Cora
sharks
cast
today.
plesiosaurs
No,
last time,
that's-
and
We're not
absolutely
doing sharks
doing
today.
Sharks today. We don't do sharks today.
and that's what Enola could detect because part of her connection with this world is Cora. And she turns to Cora and goes, "Yeah. Walks straight up and says, 'May I?' Gestures to take your hands.
Yes. Go. Is it just Cora or?
Just Cora.
Am I still on the ground? Like, yes, sure. I hand out my hands.
Yeah. She she grabs you by the hands, pulls you back onto your feet, and then kisses you. And as she does so, both of you are bathed in a summer haze around the both of you. She goes, "Thanks, I know that spell now." And a second water elemental appears in front of her, and she goes, "Help the other one." And it goes underneath, and she goes, "Oh, I didn't know that spell. How did you learn it?"
Probably your dad, somehow.
No, he doesn't do water.
Huh. Oh.
Oh, hang on. Summon the burning one. Except you can use it in other ways that he can't. Like, clever. Okay. And she grabs hold of her wand and just fires a huge bolt of sparkling energy at the Mirelurk, and it kind of peters out just before her. She goes, Dreadmurk, the damn Dreadmurk, and she. I'm regretting talking about Fallout before this now, because I'm going to say that a lot now, because now I'm not thinking of the orange penguin, right? And so the sparkles peter out before it gets to the Dreadmurk, and she goes, "Of course, mortal range. Okay."
I kind of like, while trying to sort of I'm going to get somewhere where I can hold on, because we're probably going quite fast now and I've already fallen over once. But I'm going to shout over to her in this, because I'm like, that moment, the fact that she's joining in, this feels like old times almost. Like, even though we're about to be in danger again, there's just something kind of cool about this. So Cora's just going to shout over and be like, if you need to learn any other spells, just let me know.
Is this really the time?
Shut up!
Really? It is.
I expect this from Glory, not from you.
Enola just looks back and winks at you, and then she kind of purses her lips at Farewell, as if to say, "You're ruining my fun." And she starts kind of going, come on, mortal world, and she's kind of dancing around on the deck, almost like a kind of excited hopping on the balls of her feet kind of dance. And Cora, you instantly kind of just get the idea that she's having to be creative with her magic because the sun's gone, and so she can't call on a lot of her summer powers. So she wait.
I've got something for this.
I got just the thing.
I do. I cast daylight.
Ooh.
And I create the sun because it can go that bright.
Is it the actual sun?
Does it work?
It says daylight. Let's see. It's a divine spell. No, it's just a very, very powerful light spell.
Boo.
Yeah, it's a very powerful light spell, but unfortunately, it isn't the sun. I was about to say, hang on, if you can somehow just conjure a beam of sunlight.
Well, if I was a druid, I could, but
Well, moonlight.
So she goes, "Sorry, it has to be the real thing. It's kind of a gateway." She's kind of, I'd say, hopping around excitedly, trying to remember arcane spells, which ordinarily, if she was back in her homeland, she could just will things to happen. You can see she's kind of preparing her spells and all the rest of them.
So, had we to do by completely changing course? Is it now the other ship
by
going
changing course? You're now going directly away from it. So, and this thing is going incredibly fast, but so are you. I'm gonna say, well, first of all, how long does your elementals last?
I think elementals last.
They last for an hour. If we concentrate, if I can concentrate, I don't know if me falling over might have, you know.
No,
done
that
anything.
was for flavour. That was for
But
flavour.
concentration up to an hour.
Mine doesn't say it's concentration. It just says you summon it.
No, yeah, a gem isn't concentration because a barbarian can use it. Yeah. So.
However, I will maintain. I don't need to maintain concentration on daylight either, because daylight is not a concentration spell.
Sure. So everyone can see everything. Yeah, I mean it's dark, but everyone can see.
I
everything.
keep it so it's at the very top of the mast.
Sure.
And so that it keeps day, because it also dispels magical darkness.
I'm going to do an intelligence check because I didn't expect you to kind of rock out with the teamwork like this. It was going to be near impossible for you guys to avoid this.
Are we avoiding story points, Simon?
I'm trying to read
Are you
my
running
spell
away from the story points?
to figure out what the heck. Does someone just give a donation? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I heard that.
£3.79. Thank you
Oh,
very
do we
much.
still have that open?
Thank you.
Thank you. I
We
didn't
can
see
take
it on the
donations
activity feed.
anytime. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. I'm sorry. Twitch doesn't. The Twitch Stream Manager doesn't show that stuff anymore. So I'm relying
It
on.
won't, yeah, it will only show bits and things. It won't show donations. You need
Okay,
Stream Elements labels or something open.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got my OBS open so I can hear the alerts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, if the girls can hear it, that's great. Thank you. So thank you very much. So suddenly, Sandera, who
it's
is
Sprite.
there, she's kind of twiddling with a braid of her hair that's got something braided into it, and it's got like a metal toggle at the end, holding the braid together. And she's looking at the sails. She's looking at the crew. She has been barking orders, but she's just taken a moment to think, and she looks back at the Dreadmerc and goes, "Miss Enola, can you detect things?" Enola stops hopping round and goes, "What kind of things?" Sandera goes, "Land. It doesn't have to be big, just land." At which point Enola goes, "Well, yeah, it's over that way." Sandera goes, "Change course!" And this time kind of grabs Farewell by the scruff of the neck and goes, "That way!" And she runs to the edge of the ship and goes, Ferris, let's use some of your magic." And the tiefling runs up to Sandera and says, "Not my name, remember?" She goes, "Oh yeah, shut up. Come here." Points out at the points out over at the sea, and says, "I'm told there's land in that direction. You know what to do." And suddenly his eyes go from the black orbs that he has. Suddenly they start to glow, and he holds on to the front of the ship and looks out, and he goes, yeah, it's an atoll. We've got to be careful not to beach." And she goes, "Fuck, I don't care if we beach. That thing can't come anywhere near it."
Box, it's fine.
Yeah, it goes back into the box, it's fine.
We have a
At which point-
spare!
At which point Sandera says what he said. "Get us to the atoll." He said, Okay. And he's, you can see he kind of takes her arm, gets taken back to the top of the poop, and he's just there looking gimlet-eyed at the horizon, and he starts making micro-corrections of the course. And you can see that as fast as the thing is behind you, it's not catching up.
Good.
And at that point, we're going to take a 10-minute rest, take a bio break. So everybody stretch your legs, rest your eyes, get yourself a brew. Try not to put tea leaves in there, otherwise you'll end up choking out like me. And we will see you in 10 minutes' time. And
Apologies for avoiding you story points, Simon.
well, no, I mean, role-playing is not just encounters, it can be how you avoid the encounters. So that's fine by me. In that case, we will see you in 10 minutes' time. And welcome back, everybody. When we left off, the crew of the... Did you actually name the ship in the
Nah, I don't think so.
end? Just Brick 1 and
Hey,
Brick 2.
Please get us there. Get us
The
there.
A-word.
Brick 1, yes. Brick 1.
Boat 1 and boat number 2.
Backup
It could be
boat.
Awin and Tuck.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Awin and Tuck.
That's going to get confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys saw that off the side of one of the ships, a strange storm-like structure started coming towards you. Some people saw faces in the storm. Very much my mummy moment of the face in the sandstorm. And it was identified as a dreadmerc, a cursed ship, cursed to sail the seas long past everybody is dead, seeking out life but unable to go anywhere near land. You guys started to speed up the ship through supernatural means, animating oars, conjuring elementals to push the ship. Enola started throwing some things in as well, although NPC should never fully provide a solution. And you ended up making the ship go crazy fast. The extra speed gave a bit of time for the captain, Sandera, to get her head together, at which point she went, hang on, land, we need to get to land. We just said it can't go anywhere near it. And so you're now hurtling towards an atoll. Yeah, sure, no problem. So for Sprack, let's do a quick... can I have name, race, and class from you all, please?
Alrighty.
Glory, I guess.
I am Felicia, and I play Glory Tezcatlipoca, who is a tiefling sorceress of the Black Dragon variety.
Mm-hmm. And Kate?
Oh, go to Corinne. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
you guys have got an order, that's fine.
Yeah. Yes, I play Eclipse of the Moon, the Tabaxi arcane trickster who tends to get herself into trouble, even though she has 16 charisma. But I do not.
I am Kate, and I'm playing Cora Yosanal, who is a halfling warlock of the Fae.
I'm Nick, and I play Farewell Barebones, a Water Genasi Grave Cleric.
Also, my name is Corinne, in case I didn't say that. I'm
Hopefully,
very
we all have little name tags as well to just help a little bit, but we don't know what
They
class
can be
and race.
sometimes they can be hard to see because like we have white backgrounds or whatever. So
Yeah.
And if you type in the names of the various people into chat, Nightbot will give you more information about them all like that.
Or you can move to if you're watching on the Twitch app or on the Twitch website, you can move to the side of the screen and you'll see the D&D Beyond widget, which will take you to the D&D Beyond character sheet, where you can see spells and items and other things that each character has equipped.
I always forget about that, but that's the blissful thing of having a good team here. Everybody that you can see here does something, and Nick's is D&D Beyond, which I must admit, if I had to fart about with all that as well, man, that would just be more work again. But no, D&D Beyond certainly very worthwhile. And Nick, after I've thrown crazy magic items their way, painstakingly puts them in so that people can have them on the character sheet. So it's much
Speaking of which,
appreciated.
sponsor us, D&D Beyond.
please.
We're here every Friday,
Yeah, every Friday.
apart from last Friday. Sorry.
Almost every Friday. With occasional holidays for
Yeah,
mental health and all of that jazz.
Yes, but yeah, you know, episode 79. No, that way. Anyway, dear D&D, for 100th episode, I would like a D&D Beyond sponsorship. Anyway,
Plus
so
many others.
yeah, you guys have started hurtling towards this atoll. Thankfully, powered. If it was a minute, your elementals wouldn't be able to do it. But for an hour at sea, you can get a lot done, especially the speed you're going. And very soon, you hear the tiefling suddenly bellow, "Land ho!" and is pointing to the atoll, and Sandera just runs up to the rail, leans over it, and goes, "Run her aground!" And you're just hurtling straight towards the atoll. Around about 3 minutes later, the entire ship lurches as she beaches onto a sandbank that very lightly breaks the water.
Shall we make the ship into a break right now?
Yeah, now what? What is it?
Not while
Sandera
people are
says,
inside
No
it.
need. We're at land. The fact we're in a ship is fine. They shouldn't be able to come anywhere near it. What was it? In sight
this
of land?
class
How does
is
that work?
land? And I'm looking
you-
down at
Well,
like
it
a
is-
little
it is
tiny
land.
bit of sand.
But they
What about the
can't
back
go
of the
within.
ship?
They can't go within sight of land. What if they
Oh.
can't see it?
Well, hold on, and I move the daylight spell if I can move it. And bearing in mind that's going off like a giant beacon, I'm like,
I'll say that you move the light source.
It's like, where are they?
You can see
yeah,
that
for once in our life, there's a giant neon sign that says here.
Here
you
is
see that the
land.
Dreadmerc is still coming quite close, but it does appear to be slowing down. And at which point there's a slightly now familiar eruption from the water. Yana jumps out and Thena just behind her. At which point Thena kind of shakes herself down and goes, "You nearly got me. I wanted to get close enough to just check it out. Yeah, single ship. It's not a whole
That
fleet,
seemed
at
like
least.
a supremely stupid idea.
It's our job to look at these things.
Us.
Right, I need somebody to tie me a noose." And she pulls the pack
Sorry?
off her back, unrolls the top of her bag, and says, "A noose."
Someone with good survival.
And then cut it off a hand's length of rope from the top of the knot. So you've got loop, knot, and then a hand's worth of rope. Get to it! And she's rummaging through her bag.
I throw it to Farrell, who has high wisdom and can therefore tie knots.
I look at the sailors who know knots.
Grub is running forward to do the job.
Yeah, this rope just hits Farewell in the chest as he goes, "What do you want to
I can braid hair. I do not know how to make knots.
Grub dives on the rope that just bounced off Farewell and sets about making the knot. He then pulls out a cutlass, effectively, it's a machete. Pulls out a cutlass and then measures the rope with his hand and then slams down the cutlass inches away from his fingers, pulls it up and goes, "Here," and passes it to Yana, who holds it for Thena. Thena pulls out a small jar, pours what seems to be ashes, cold, milled ashes, onto her hand, and then wipes it across her brow and holds her hand out for the noose. Yana puts it in her hand and she goes, "He's going to get pissed at this." Galliman, standing at the door. "I point you at the damned, let they be no more." And you can see there's a shimmer appearing around the noose as she does this, and she's gritting her teeth. "I call to the Forsaken, for it be your will, and call upon the vessel of Blackheart Bill." And the noose
Whoa.
suddenly explodes into flame, and she throws it into the sea. As it hits the water, you hear at a distance a cannon firing.
Already? How fast are they?
Magic, my dear. They are magic.
As a second storm appears on the horizon.
Do I know what the hell she just did there?
Give me a religion check for Galliman.
Okay, that is allow me to do some form of maths. 24.
24. Yeah, you've heard of the Galliman before. He is the patron spirit of wrongful death, and you know at 24 that he is also the patron spirit of the pirate faction known as the Forsaken. He covers the remembrance of those who died wrongly. He's also a spirit of vengeance, and but also retribution. And so
We can never just meet normal people.
No.
and she has.
Why would you want to meet normal people?
I just point at the two conflicting storms. That is exactly why I would like to meet just normal people.
Farewell. Around
Yes.
about 3 inches away from the hand that you just pointed is a man with a greasy, long, black, bushy beard, long, ringleted hair that's stuck to his head and stuck to his back. He's wearing an old, scarred leather coat that goes down to his knees. He's got a middle-aged paunch, roomy, bloodshot eyes, scarred and sun-baked skin with crow's feet and broken blood vessels of someone who drinks too much. He
Don't make me look. Don't make
looks
me
to
look.
be a human in his 60s, however, large and muscular. Even though he's got a stoop and, as I say, a paunch and all the rest of it, this guy stands around about 6'10". He is incredibly muscular, and he seems to have a rusty and dripping saber in his left hand. He has a lantern that has a ghostly purple flame in his right hand, and he's wearing very worn, disheveled trews and hobnailed boots. At which point he says, "You call me Silverfin." At which point she says, "Bill." He looks at her and says, "Who are you to call me by my name?" And she says, "According to our pact, there, you are here to collect those who require redemption. I set you to task." "Set us to task for us all to die, more like." "Sure.
Ghost? Is
By
that
the
a ghost?
pact, I agree." At which point he
wouldn't get
gestures and
involved.
disappears.
At this stage, it is just easier to let them fight it out, and we just carry on as we are.
Right. Were you talking to a
Smoke
ghost?
clears around one of the vessels, the vessel that isn't the Dreadmerc, and you can see that a large black ship with a red, figurehead of what seems to be a screaming skeleton holding an egg timer and an hourglass and a noose
Timer.
at the front of the ship. Hourglass.
I just got this mental
No,
image of like
it's
an
egg
actual
timer now.
egg in his hand, and it is clockwork, and the top half of it just constantly sinking. And on the hour, every hour, they just.
I was trying to get the word hourglass, and I was picturing it in my head, and I got egg timer. Okay.
No, on the hour, a little chicken pops out of a door and goes,
Yes.
Out the top of the egg timer like top cracks in half, and a little chick comes out and it cheeks.
Yes.
We try to weave this haunting vision, and
We destroy
Ruin
it.
the ship is huge, clearly a man of war, and you can see 3 rows of cannons at either side, around about 8 per row. A devastating ship, a dreadnought of a ship, and on the front of it, it has a large ram as well, coming out just underneath the skeleton figurehead. And it's mostly a black ship with red sails, and you can see that on board the deck seems to be writhing with the number of people that are on board. The ship looks almost overloaded, and you can see going up to the forecastle, which is the opposite to the poop deck. So the poop deck is the raised section at the back of the deck. normally has like a mini cabin on the inside, which is normally the captain's cabin, and usually the cook's galley as well. And then maybe, depending on how big it is, it will have 1 or 2 officers' rooms as well. The forecastle is where the rest of the officers normally are. And they normally have, if they have long cannons, they'll have them in the front. So if you ever hear people refer to the long nines normally fired in front of the ship. So it was pursuit cannons. And you can see that there are 2 large cannons sticking out of the forecastle, but standing on top of the forecastle, I'll give this directly to Nick because of his passive perception, the figure that momentarily had an apparition on your deck is standing just behind the skeleton's head and looking out at the Dreadmerc.
I think this would be a very good time for us to figure out where we are, how far we have to go, and if we can make perhaps a discreet exit whilst they're, tearing each other apart.
Occupied, yes.
Yes, occupied.
Shall we?
Also,
Let's
did
get the
you
maps.
speak? Is he a ghost or?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I've had some rather unpleasant experiences with otherworldly apparitions at the moment, and I figured one less in my life might just be the best thing.
Athena turns around and says, "He's not a ghost. I don't know what he is, but he's not a ghost."
Right. So you called him, and he got here within seconds. So assuming some kind of teleportation magic.
I would go with something more powerful, but this is kind of veering away from the point. We should be leaving.
I mean, yeah, it would be quite impressive to spell an entire ship into teleportation, but I mean, it could be possible. I mean, depending on when it was built and how powerful the mages were, I could look into
While
the
this conversation is
possibilities of
happening,
it.
I think I'm looking at the captain and heading. We're making sure they're bringing out maps and various things and figuring things out.
Yeah.
Just,
They go up to the navigation deck on the poop, and they're spreading out sea charts and things to figure out where they are, because obviously you've rapidly changed your heading and gone at speed, so they're trying to figure out where you are. Atolls do tend to get marked out on really good maps as well, so they're looking on those. Sandera says, "We're not the 7 sails, but these are good maps. I paid for the best." And because they're her maps. And she's there, and she's starting to plot where you could be. Tiefling comes up and joins her as well. As Fina accepts just a face cloth from Yana, starts wiping the ash off her face. She goes, "Yes, his ship is quite impressive. He paid a dear price for it. I know of only 11 ships in Illyria that can do that. His couldn't do it until he had reason to. He gets summoned. It's not teleportation. He can't go where he wants. He goes where he's brought to."
So what are the other 10 ships that can do that?
She says,
Are you going to get one?
"We will. We'll have that conversation another time. But needless to say, most of them belong to the 7 sails."
Hey.
Okay. So, how terribly lost are we?
Not so bad.
Oh, that's good.
Let's see. And you can see that Athena and Yana run up to the navigation table as well. And they say, "Right, okay, and between all of them in concert, they go, "We're here." Good news is we're about half a day from where we need to be.
Well, if we think we can sneak away, we still have time with extra speed, shall we say?
Yep.
Let's do it. At which point,
Everyone back on the boat!
well, everybody was on the boat. They were just beached.
Never left the boat.
Yeah, nobody left the boat. At which point, a bunch of the sailors
No
jump
one
off
needs to
onto
push.
the atoll.
No one needs to push. I have a water elemental.
He'll pull us out.
Sure. Okay. And Enola goes.
He can
let's
wash
do
up
that.
and pull us back into the water.
Let's
Yep.
do that.
So yeah, the sailors get back onto the ship, and suddenly two.
I think as they
water
start to go, I'll be
elementals
like,
just
wait, that's not necessary, and
Yeah, cool. At which point, the two water elementals just whelm backwards over the atoll and push the ship out, and they help fend off the atoll with the oars as well, just to get it to turn faster. And you're back on your way. And
I, for one, am gonna take a long sleep while we get there.
Same.
okay, so
I'll keep watch. For
You
a
need
little
to
bit.
sleep
I
as
want-
well, Farewell. We need you.
I will sleep. I promise. But I just would feel better if I can keep a little eye out. That's all. Promise. If I'm not
First
in
watch,
my
and then
hammock,
let Corin and Enola take some more. Okay?
if I'm not in my hammock in a couple of hours, feel free to come and drag me kicking and screaming. I promise.
Enola says, "In that case, I'm going to try to have a nap, and then I'll take over and watch. Do whatever you're doing when you come for your nap."
Sure.
And
You go sleep as well, Cora.
She turns expectantly to Cora.
Yeah. You go
Because
sleep.
napping's no fun on your own.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go find a little corner to curl up in.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry. I only brought the Cora-sized hammock. I didn't bring the one that you can fit more than one person in.
Oh, we can fit more than one person in it. This
I didn't need
hammock's
to
a pretty
know that. Stay out of my hammock. No, really. Stay out of my hammock.
We don't need your. They have stretch. It's fine. If not, we'll curl up somewhere down in the rope bay down below, or where the sails are. It's
I
we're
didn't
fine.
need to know that.
We're sleeping, okay? Jeez, why is everyone's so obsessed with sex?
With a
enough.
huge smile on her face, Enola just shrugs. Her crown disappears, her dress disappears, and forming into again just the blouse and trousers, pair of serviceable boots. And she, as that happens as well, she shrinks down to about 4 foot in height and says, "They watched me do this before. Never mind."
That's the opposite of what we wanted. We wanted giant women.
Enola curls up with you, Cora. Starts off just by stroking your hair, mostly the bit that you're starting to grow out now. She seems to kind of focus on that bit and focus around where the scar is. And she's just running her fingers through your hair. But does Cora go to sleep quickly, or is there just too much going on?
I mean, she may fall asleep after it's been quite a day, but I think she wants to. She wants to appreciate this, because every time she goes to sleep, she usually just wakes up again in a way. She doesn't appreciate much. She doesn't have much time, like, just snoozing and lying and just cuddling with Enola is just really nice. So and like I say again, we're back on. It's like back in old times and things. So
Yeah.
I think she tries not to, but then she's probably gonna
Okay.
end up going off to sleep, obviously.
As you're falling asleep, you're pretty sure the reason why you fell asleep is that the last thing that you remember before having a proper sleep, as in you can't remember much about your dreams, because she's here. Literally, the woman of your dreams is here. And the last thing that you remember is your head on Enola's chest, and her chest rising and falling really slowly and deliberately, and you're pretty sure that she falls asleep as well. Probably for the first time, maybe since you last saw us more. So you kind of appreciate the profound moment. But she's wide awake when you wake up. So she sleeps just not as long as you. And sure enough, farewell. Around about 2 hours later, you get Enola come out, and Enola walks up to you, pats you on the butt, and says, "Bedtime."
Yeah, I need a good rest. It's been a day.
She gives you a hug, ruffles your hair, and says, "I like the new hair." And sits down and contemplates one of the biscuit rations, kind of turning it over in her hands but not eating it.
It's much better with something a bit more hearty, liquid-wise. Oh, and before I forget, this time, don't disappear without saying goodbye. Good night, Enola.
Good night, Phil.
I go get my sleep before I get told off by Eclipse.
There's a look of genuine pleasure and kind of sentimentality from Enola as she watches you go off to bed. You can tell that the friendship is still very much there. Despite all the other things that have changed, you can see that that she has missed you. Okay.
We all get a long rest.
Yes, you can have a long rest, and
Woo!
when you wake up, you can see a very, very tired Sandera has not slept, who is at the wheel herself. And when you get up and go to see her, she looks back and says, "Clear horizon, look. I hope they survived." You can also see that Sandera has placed markings on her forehead, not the ash that Thena had, but there is. I would liken it to maybe a mixture of Indian and Maori markings that she's put on her brow. And for those of you who know the Summer Isles, they are marks of protection, asking the gods to protect them and to guide them. It's basically a supplication to the gods saying, "I am here, talk to me, I will listen. Please guide my footsteps." It's kind of it's an all faith thing, but it's geographically for the Summer Isles, which has nothing to do with the Summer Court, by the way. It's here in Illyria. It's just a place called Summer Isles, where most of the Clashtar come from. It's where Noki comes from. And you can see that on her almost khaki skin, brown-green, so there's quite a heavy amount of brown in her green skin. She has mixed together a paste, and the paste must have like metallic dust or something like that in there, because it's almost a bronze sheen to it. It's very beautiful, but you know that she's put it on for religious reasons.
Right.
It's interesting having different religious cultures in a world where they know which gods do actually exist because they give you powers.
Yeah.
It's been interesting writing Illyrian kind of faith cultures. Bit hard to deny the gods or have different religions when you can
It's
actually
not really
prove which
faith,
ones
is
exist.
it? If someone can actually be like, "Hey."
Well, you can have faith in a person. So
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can believe
There's a difference between belief and the
putting your
actual
trust
power.
in. Yeah, absolutely. You can be like, "Yeah, they exist, but they're assholes."
Well, no, all the gods are assholes. I mean,
Every god is an asshole. That is not even
ultimate power corrupts ultimately. You must be an asshole if you're a god, probably.
I mean, I know that for Farewell, it's not so much absolute power corrupts absolutely. Absolute power shows you who someone truly is.
The glorious god is Tiamat.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say.
Which is all we need to say, and we won't talk about that god because that never ends well for anybody.
No, it's family reasons, and we're hoping to pull her out of that very dark and evil hole.
Working on it.
Is that dark and evil hole a bit like an oubliette that Clip spent
A little bit, yeah.
Well,
we had a veto on the
Glory's
dark
in a
hole.
metaphorical oubliette.
yeah, I thought we agreed no more oubliettes. I thought that was our
Yeah.
New Year's resolution.
Hey,
no
we've
more
still got to go back to
oubliettes.
Scala at some point, so no
Oh,
promises.
we are going back soon.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's gone from weeks to days now. So yeah,
Yeah.
Only if you can guarantee that Rodrigo will come back for that stream.
be
I tell
careful
you
what you wish for.
if you can guarantee Rodrigo will come back for that one, then yes, we can go to Scala. And
And
I'll
just
be on board.
watch Aiden just implode.
Yep.
Guarantee is a strong word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eclipse ending up in an oubliette is nothing in comparison with how well Aiden gets on with Glory.
Yeah. To get
I've had
But
some
they had
very
a
interesting
heart-to-heart.
conversations with
Buster had a
Rodrigo
lovely
recently,
heart
followed by some very
heart.
interesting
Thank
writing
you.
sessions. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you spent a lot of time writing that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Well, that and then rewriting it with certain things coming in as well. So yeah. So you get to a point where there is a several rock outcroppings nearby in front of you, and Enola says, "Oh, do we need to be worried about that?" And she starts looking at the sun as well. Sun is up, and she goes, 6 hours, maybe 5 left.
You can ask the
Okay.
Modrons if you want to know the exact time. They're helpful
No.
like
Let's
that.
not ask the Modrons. Let's not. I tell you what then. Do you want to see a temple to an ancient eldritch god that potentially is also full of an army of undead?
Do I?
There's a bloody good chance it's beyond those rocks.
Athena looks over and says, "Yep. You don't need to worry about that, Captain. That's where we'll be mooring. Less a problem of us crashing onto them. Just
Hey, Eclipse?
have your anchors ready."
Me?
Yes. Do you think your owl could scout ahead?
Sure. Go, Athena.
Sure.
Flap, 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 flap.
The owl goes out and goes, "What am I looking for?" And the owl just kind of is checking out an expanse of water with some rocks poking through it.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't look like that looks more like built like a temple, or anything that is anything that I would normally look for when I'm looking for hidden temple stuff.
Let me help out with that, and Glory will use her familiar to also scout ahead and particularly look for any signs of magic, illusions that will hide an entrance and stuff like that. Because she remembers how we found the fucking institute.
Yes.
So you're familiar as you tell him to do this, and says, "Wise mistress, fool owl cannot see below the surface. Allow me to serve you." It slithers off your shoulders, down one arm, onto the rail, and then, very much like an eel, just kind of flops off the side of the ship. But then when it hits the water, there's no splash, as it incorporeally just goes into the depths. And you can hear its voice in your head. It says, "Not much near the surface. More the outcroppings of a broken volcano. This promontory of rock is the only one that broke the surface. The rest of the crater far below. No danger to the ship. I go deeper. I feel the darkness surrounding me, crushing depth, and I see structure. Yes, structure. Symmetrical. Appreciate the shape. Yes. creatures writhe below. I do not see. Yes, now I see. They are deep ones. They are accustomed to this place. You, mistress, and your friends will have to adapt or be out of your depth. Yes, prepare yourself, mistress. Make them bow the knee to you before you enter this temple. Yes.
Yes, Jordan, it is a danger noodle.
Danger noodle. Also,
It's underneath the surface, guys. Pretty far down too.
well, luckily we got the water-breathing necklaces.
Speak for yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, Mr. I have gills.
They also
I don't
spy
have
on us,
gills.
remember, if we use them.
Why would I have gills?
You can breathe water, and you need gills to breathe water.
No?
No, that's not how it works for me. I can just
Yeah.
breathe water.
Yana,
See, look.
Yana points at her neck
No
and
gills.
then stands next to Farewell. She has gills, Farewell doesn't.
Yeah, I'm like, no gills. See?
No hands.
Oh,
At which point Yana, kind of making a point, goes, Triton, Genasi.
Well, Tritons
Well, I
are
wonder if-
prettier.
Well,
That's
lucky for all
You're
of
just
you.
upset. She doesn't mean that. I mean,
I do.
she does. I'm gonna shut. No.
She said Tritons were prettier. I'm okay with that.
Well,
I mean, bear in mind, Yona's buff, scarred to fuck, and all the rest of it. If you're the type of person who can't see past scars for beauty, then she will not be your thing. But
no.
yeah, there's a hotness there with with the scars.
And she's
I wonder if
buff.
there's any sea elves around here.
At which point, Athena kind of points to herself as if to say, "Standing right here."
Not you.
Either way, we have potions of breathing underwater, which lasts for 1 hour, or we have the pendants that last for a week.
I think the pendants might be a good idea because I don't know. I don't want to have just an hour in. 'Cause
Exactly.
We don't know how long-
We don't know how long we will be down there, but just so we know that
They
we
are-
will.
We should bring
You
them
remember,
to.
they are tracking those pendants, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Did we
I mean,
figure
they
we could
can't track-
dispel that or not?
They can't track them if they're around me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that only gives you a week of water breathing, not anybody else.
It's a radius around me as well. I shall.
Yeah, but we're not always in close range while underwater. While fighting.
Sandera says, "Who's tracking you?"
We that's complicated.
Well, no, these ones are. We were given them from the.
I kick Eclipse in the shins.
No, these ones are not classified. We got these from the guy at the where we got the crew.
Yes.
Yes, this is not classified. Everyone, shut up.
Many
Still.
things are classified, Eclipse, and not everyone needs to know exactly who is after us at all times.
Well, this. No one's after us with this one. This is just someone who wants to know what's happening. It's
Yes,
How
they
do-
want
how do you
information
know?
that they can use against
Yeah,
the ones
we
we
have-
work for,
Enola
which
turns
is
around to Cora
normal
and says,
politics.
"He's like a cat."
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys shut up. I'm
Have you
gonna tell
got a
them because
light?
this is not
'Cause
classified.
that could be a good distraction.
Anyway, I tell her about who we got these things from, which is the what's his name, the count of the city we got the crew from.
You got them from specifically. You got them from the Chamberlain of Goldastamount.
Yes,
I
we got
lean
these from
over-
Chamberlain of Gold Astronaut. That is not classified, Farewell.
I lean over to Farewell and be
That's
like,
Totally not the point. I was
Also-
trying to
remind
make.
me to never tell Eclipse if we're trying to do a surprise birthday party. Okay.
Are you kidding? She would find out in like this next 6 seconds, and then would be like, "What are you getting me? What are you getting me? Does it have anything to do with the Heart of Jordan?"
Okay, we're never doing it. We're never doing it. It's fine.
Just to be impossible. Why do you think I got the pen? Well, actually, the pen would be very good for planning a party.
If
We need to
you're the
find out
only one
whenever-
going to the party,
I want to point
trust
out,
me, they're
Eclipse has
great
never
for
dug
planning
into
surprises.
or read any of your journals or diaries. She does not read
That's
your
not the
stuff.
joke. That's not the joke, though. It's too late. That's not the joke.
You look off to the side, and you can see in a row, Enola, Sandera, Katia, Fina, and Yana, all looking at you with varying scales of bemusement and completely lost in the situation.
It
Going,
works for us. It honestly,
Yeah.
it works for us. I won't lie. It completely works for us.
Yes. If you wanted to help us, we got these from the guy I mentioned. I
Yeah,
keep
we just
forgetting
don't
them.
want the nosy
Chamberlain
dickhead
of
elf
the
knowing what
of
we're doing,
Gold Dust.
because he's primarily a bigoted dickhead.
Yeah.
We frown on bigoted dickheads. And
Most
so,
of the time.
I
Now,
mean,
was
other
that
times
so
we
hard,
kill-
Farewell?
I don't trust Easy. I make no apologies for this.
You're not supposed to trust Easy. That's just a way for people to get one over you and then kill you.
See?
Not
And to be
quite.
fair, on our track records, most people tried to kill us.
A lot of people try to kill us.
at the
lot.
Woods
I
of
mean, I had
Glory-
my first assassination attempt when I was 6.
Yes, but you lived in a very dystopian, dystopian world, so you don't count for anything, Glory.
To be fair, though, I mean, I had a pretty nasty upbringing as well. I mean, there was an awful lot of dealing with the undead, so I kind of understand where she's coming from. Although people weren't trying to assassinate me, it was just more, oh look, shambling zombie,
Oh no, it was just family politics. My uncle was upset over something.
or skeleton.
Mom decapitated him on the kitchen table. It was my first time seeing that.
You have a
Cool.
feeling that if Katia could have popcorn right now, she would be eating it. Fina seemed to nod along to the start of what Glory was saying, where it was the case of, oh yeah, you have to protect yourself. But after the first sentence was just there, like, after that couldn't nod along, because she was just like, what?
And bandits as well. Bandits are like, they're like so
Farewell, I know you want to feel
And
included,
everywhere for
but
some
none
reason.
of our childhoods compare anything to what Glory had, because again, she lived in a dystopian nightmare.
Oh, you just say that because you didn't like it. And
No,
you
I'm
upset
saying it
my
'cause it was a
cousin and ended
dystopian-
up in prison.
Because you live in a dystopian nightmare where free thought is completely crushed.
Oh,
I mean, she has everything she possibly wants, so, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Except
what
she
you class
can't-
as a nightmare.
I mean, except she can't say, like, I don't like your dress, and then have her head decapitated.
Of course I can
I
say
think
I
she-
don't
I
like
think she
someone's
could.
dress.
Yeah. Mrs.
Yeah.
Glory.
Yeah.
I'm
I'd
high
definitely
enough
tell
in
you.
the hierarchy that people will just have to change their clothes if I tell them to.
Ah,
It's easy.
yes, that is good, Glory. Dystopian nightmare.
I don't think we should take Eclipse
Again,
back when we go. I just really think we shouldn't do that.
again, this
It's
it
fine.
just
I've
works.
already ordered your outfits. And I have sent message to the garden attendants to prepare the correct flowers.
Wow.
Dystopian.
This is a nightmare for another day. Let's deal with this nightmare. How the
Yeah,
hell are we
one
gonna
at a
go
time.
all the way down there? I'm gonna swim. I don't swim very fast at all. Like, how are we gonna
just
get
hold
down
on to
there?
me and I'll
You can summon some sharks to ride on.
Oh
For
wait,
Flower's
can I?
sake.
Oh wait,
No
Plesiosaurs
sharks.
again.
yeah, we'll
Plesiosaurs.
go with the plesiosaurs. Plesiosaurs are fine. Plesiosaurs are bros.
Yes.
Plesiosaurs are complete bros.
You could just
Sharks
hold
are
on to
dicks.
one of the fins each. We could just like ride them down. I don't think I could do that. I couldn't get. We'd have to come up on our own.
Did you do narwhals?
Narwhals,
I think so. I mean, I think I can kind
I
of make
think
them
we should
take
do
any shape
narwhals.
whatsoever. It's kind of.
I would go with
What do you hold
narwhals,
on
just-
to with a narwhal?
Anyways, we got 4
they're very
of these,
sleek.
so
They're
Gloria will
whales,
start
dude.
pulling
They've
out
got
the
a fin.
pendants at this point.
Narwhals have a
And
tiny
she will
little...
have 1 to Eclipse, 1 to Cora. Do you need one, Enola?
No.
Enola goes,
It's also bright.
yes, I have trouble breathing underwater.
Very well then.
That's
Here you
okay.
go.
Phoenix.
This should make us all able to breathe underwater, which will be an experience. I have not done that before.
Actually, we did do it before, didn't we? We did do
No.
it when we met these
It
guys.
has,
No?
yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we jumped
But
in the
not for
water.
long.
Oh yeah, we did. Yes.
yeah.
But
Okay.
briefly.
You're
So-
right.
This is strong chaotic energy.
Yeah.
As we plan on how to assault an eldritch temple in the most ADD sort of way as possible, bouncing in between like all the stupid shit that we know and do as characters, whilst also then going, oh yeah, we also kind of have to rescue this kid for the whole reason we're fucking well here.
All I can think
Yes.
of is I want Plesiosaurus Bros on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I've been
as well.
using the quote function recently, but I've not been using it for quotes. And now that I just typed that in, I was like, you fucking idiot. You've managed to do exclamation mark cannon and exclamation mark loot, but using the quote system for an upcoming game. And the one thing you didn't do was a quote function. So I will add it so that the mods can add quotes. I think it'll be good fun.
Yes, Lapras gag or broke gas. We go with the Lapras gag. Or the Plesiosaurus.
Summon 2 Lapras to take us where we need to be. Yeah, fuck D&D. We're now playing Pokemon.
Oh, is that what you're
Go
referencing?
Lapras,
I'm like,
Ice
what the hell is a
Beam!
Lapras? I have no idea. I'm not a Pokemon person.
Oh, Kate,
Oh.
you're not that cool, Kate.
I'm not that cool. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm not that
fine.
cool.
I have
Like to
written
pretend.
down Plesiosaurus are bros. Farewell, episode 79. It will perhaps make a appearance on the red bubble.
Woo!
Oh, nice.
Because I have a feeling we will need it.
There are certain quotes throughout the whole of this campaign. I almost feel like I need to rewatch the whole campaign because there's certain quotes where I'm just like,
That
oh,
is
I
so
need
many
that. I
hours.
need that.
So
Please
Right.
do that.
We need
But,
an audience
uh,
to do that
well-
and then write them in the comments on YouTube so that we can pull them
Yeah.
out.
Right. So, Athena comes forward and she goes, sorry, you covered a lot of subjects. So first of all, sea elves. You mentioned sea elves. Most sea elves that you'll find in this plane of existence will either be silver fins or they'll be the sunken court. And she refers to another faction of the 7 sails that are almost exclusively sea elves. They are the sea elven court in the material plane. But no, there won't be any around here unless they are silverfins and guarding this temple, which we have yet to cleanse and guard this temple.
Ah,
We
Well,
were hoping
then.
that the dangers that already exist here would be enough of a deterrent, being that the scouting parties that we've sent here said that they couldn't get anywhere near the place without being chased.
Chased by what?
Strange, semi-civilized sea folk, like crabs. Large, carapaced individuals, many legs at the bottom, like a crab or a lobster, and then above, large claws. They seem to have the ability to see through the dark in the depths, but also they can detect wave currents as well. The number of times that we went up against them invisible, it didn't seem to make any difference. They seem to be able to just detect movement and they are able to know whether that movement is down to a fish or a humanoid. And we got some druids to go in as fish, and that was the best that we could get. They didn't pay attention to them at all, other than one who wanted one for a snack. But there wasn't a general marshalling of arms. But our best underwater rogues were unable to sneak past these things.
Were you
we
able
would recommend some sort of distraction, maybe?
We're good at doing distractions.
Eclipse just cracks her fingers.
Did the druids
Might
manage
take.
to get numbers at least? Some idea of what's inside?
Oh, they live here. There's a whole village.
Right.
Right, so there's a village here.
Village, swarm. As I say, they're kind of semi-civilized. They cluster. Breeding grounds, maybe.
Okay, have you attempted to speak to them?
Not so much. Again, semi-civilized. If I could speak to them, I would have done. We've tried talking with animals in the same way that we would normally be able to do with some of the beasts under the sea, and it doesn't quite work. We don't get much back from them, other than hunt, kill, eat. And then we've tried talking to them as humanoids. They don't seem to fit either. They're very strange, very otherworldly minds as well. We tried to reach out to their thoughts, and they're just simple, bestial. They don't have complex needs or form complex language, but neither can we reach out to them as beasts. They seem to occupy a strange envelope between the two, neither humanoid nor beast.
Okay. Do they just live here, or do they guard this place? What is the purpose of this place again? And
It's an old temple.
okay.
Underwater civilization put it together for the Kraken.
And they guard it and worship him?
Oh, they did. The civilization that built it is long since dead.
No, okay, so the crab people.
Oh, no, I don't think they worship it. Maybe on a primal level they can detect the energies that are within the temple are attuned to the Kraken. That may be why they were called there. But their minds are not complex enough for worship. At which point you can hear Grub in the background going, "Yeah, because you need to have intelligence to have faith." And he, as he says that, he just rips a piece of firewood in half and throws it into the cooking squirrel furnace.
Do we know if the temple, again, did these druids manage to get a layout? Like, is the village literally built around the temple, or could we avoid the village completely and go in a different way and find the temple? Or
they pretty much live in the temple. The temple itself isn't that complex. I mean, most of it is above ground. Most of it is above the seabed, as it is, and then after that, it's just a short network of tunnels that go inside. They didn't go through every permutation of tunnel, but they could see that the central tunnel went into what seems to be some form of and she kind of whispers something to Yana. Yana whispers back. She goes, "Geothermal vent." There's a source of heat down there that somehow is being used. Maybe that was why the temple was put there, is that it has some sort of thermal vent that comes from the now dormant volcano.
Yeah, my familiar mentioned a volcano, at least parts of one down there.
surely if Tristane turned up and these people are not friendly, they would have attacked. I wonder if Tristane... He can't be just on his own, right? He must have come with others.
There's a sudden wisp sound as writhing up Glory's leg, and then up her back, and then curling around her neck and shoulders. The shadow wormling goes, "That's simple, mistress." Not at you, Cora, at Glory.
Do we see it though? Do we see this
Oh,
thing?
you
we
see
it, we
that
just don't hear it.
this writhing shadow. It's made all of shadow. This writhing shadow wormling that has just slimed its way up. Although there is no slime, it's just the way it moves. Has coiled its way up her leg, kind of negotiating to stay on the outside of her dress, and then climbed up like her arm, her back, and then has just kind of coiled itself around her neck. Almost like a python about to strangle her. But it kind of just settles like a mink around her neck. And you can see there's just these two little purple burning eyes inside the shadow. And that's the only thing that you see with regards to that. But yeah, it nestles around her shoulder and it says, "I can answer that, mistress. He simply sunk the ship."
Wait, he sunk the ship?
Yes.
No? What?
It's on the outskirts of the crater.
Oh, interesting. Interesting ship. It's on the outskirts of the crater. He sunk it in order
None
to get
within
down.
survive.
Really now?
Right.
see
Awfully
bodies.
brutal of him.
I see the bodies picked clean by these beasts.
How do we know that Tristane is not one of these bodies? Maybe they just sunk here. Maybe they were just defeated.
Oh no.
Well, luckily for all of us, I'm preparing my spells for the day. I have picked up locate creature. So if we get within 1,000 feet of him, I'll know where he is. But
I could scry.
I will also
I should have
prepare.
done that last night. Damn it.
So I'll prepare speak with the dead.
But you have all your spells prepared at all times, Kate.
Yeah, but I only have 2 spell slots, so if I'd used one of them last night to scry,
You're
I'd get
short
an
rest.
idea of if he's inside.
You can do it now, and then we can wait for an hour.
Oh, that is true. I could also do that.
Yeah. This is definitely planning time. The challenge I've given you here is not just, okay, gung-ho, it's going to be level appropriate.
I have no idea what
in.
we're freaking doing. Cora is like, what the hell are we... Well, I don't know if we're rescuing him. I don't know if you're fighting him. She's a little
we don't
suspicious.
know either.
I don't think... Cora does not think we're rescuing this guy. Cora thinks he is absolutely doing this out of his own free will. Whether he's... Like,
if he
almost
with
definitely.
the ship, he's responsible somehow. However, I think scrying is going to give us perhaps the best idea of whether or not this is a rescue.
Yes,
or
that's true.
Or we let Glory melt him.
Use your level 10.
I will. Yeah, let me at least look. We can get an idea. I won't know where he is. But we can find out, one, if he's even alive.
The green symbol, but I'll attempt to call him with the green symbol.
No reception.
No reception.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will.
Just in case it comes up in the next minute of your scrying, you've got guidance, and then I go back to.
Okay, and I sit, find a little place to sit down and start to try and scry on Tristane and see what he is doing and maybe roughly where. Is he underwater?
Do we have
is he not
anything of him with us? Did we have some stuff we picked up from his room, didn't we?
Green. Oh yeah, that's true. We do. The pen, is the pen considered his anymore? Probably not.
It was his, so for the purpose of scrying, it's
My pen.
yes, it's his now. It's Phil's now, but because it was used by him, you could use the pen as a focus.
I can't remember if anything else was picked up. I don't think we wanted to take anything. Although
we picked up a bunch of books and stuff.
Would I have been smart enough? Cora probably wouldn't have been smart enough to think about grabbing something for the whole purpose of scrying, but Phil
but we
might
have a bunch of
someone
books
else might.
that is his as well that we brought with us. Yeah.
Can
Actually,
I borrow
yeah,
one?
You did nab some
Yes,
of his books.
our book.
Thank you. That'll help. And think. Okay. All right. Let me see. Start going through the.
Okay, so
stuff.
he needs to make a wisdom saving throw if he indeed exists.
If he indeed exists. Yeah, that.
Are we familiar with him, or are we?
I'll be
just the
doing the
first-
roll, so
Yeah.
you don't need to know, thankfully.
Okay.
Right. So you've got that, and that. Okay. And you're under guidance currently.
She is, yeah.
So you start
minus 2.
the scrying, and as you start to scry, her hands place themselves on your shoulders, and you feel a surge of power as Enola and her connection with her father that she says she contains a bit of kind of jacks you up a bit. And you did get blessed by farewell as well. Guidance, the same thing. Connected with divinity. And so suddenly you get a rush of images because you get to see him now, but I'm going to give you a little bit of the lead up as to where he is. Also, it's cinematic and I want to do it.
Yeah. Give us the cinematics.
So first of all, you see Tristane on the deck of a ship. He is holding the chalice of the damned in his chalice of the drowned in his fist, and he's just looking out over the sea. You can see that his head is lolling forward, and it looks like he's about to fall asleep, but instead you can see he's just being drawn down beneath the boat. At which point he goes, "We're here." Then the captain says, "I'm sorry, Your Grace, but there's no place to put anchor." And as he does that, Tristane holds the chalice up, and the sea underneath the boat just goes and opens up like a pocket, and the ship just drops into the sea.
Is this happening right now?
No. This is Cora seeing images from the past flash forward.
Okay.
It drops into the sea. Everyone cries out, but Tristane is just there holding this chalice out. Kind of 1,000-yard stare as the ship hits into the water and the parted sea slap. There's this water clap as it engulfs the ship, and the ship just sinks down into the depths. The next flash is watching these crustaceous humanoids tearing apart the drowned and dead sailors and captain, tearing flesh from bone, bringing it up to their mandibles, and you can see the water around them starts to get a red haze as the blood mixes with the water. Seemingly not floating that much. I mean, his clothes are kind of wisping because he's underwater. His hair is wisping, but he seems to just be walking along the bottom of the sea. You can see no air coming out of his nose or mouth, but you just see Tristane, again with his 1,000-yard stare, just walking down the crater of the volcano with the chalice in his hand. There's another flash, and you can see now that in front of this rushing thermal vent that seems to be going into a part of the temple where it's being diffused, so you can't see it from the outside of the temple, but you can certainly see it in this chamber. Tristane is on his knees again in the water. His hair is moving, and you realize that you're seeing what's happening now. The chalice is in both hands, cradled in his hands, and there is a sickly and flickering, kind of a shimmering light coming from the chalice. And he seems to be toning words, but he's underwater, so he's just mouthing words, maybe just kind of speaking under his breath. And it looks like praying, maybe a ritual. Not
More
quite sure.
likely.
basically everything as the words that Simon is using is what Cora is relaying as she sees these images essentially.
Does it look like the ritual that he's casting? Do you get the impression that he's in control of it, or it's in control of him?
Arcana check for Cora.
Guidance.
Always.
Guidance is a D4.
What's a D4?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I would lend my lucky feet to you, but I can't do that.
It's
You're another rabbit.
what an Arcana. I don't think I'll get anything for Arcana, so it's only an 11.
With an 11, he doesn't look like he's in control of it. There's certainly a kind of automatic speaking about it.
Yeah. He had
can't
this
give you more
kind
than
of
that.
glazed look. So either he was just in the moment, or he's not himself,
lost
and he's
himself
a
to
puppet.
it.
I don't know.
I mean, that happens, especially if you are not particularly well experienced in certain rituals, and they're powerful. They can quite easily take control of you, and
He had that
They have
stare
one
even when the
thing.
ship went down.
yeah,
So it's before
they
even
want
the
thing they want to complete, and it
yeah.
doesn't matter what's going on.
I have no
Which-
idea how long this ritual takes place. He's already chanting, and there's already the smoke stuff, but I could
Enola
do with
says-
resting so I have all my energy before we go down there if we gotta swim and potentially fight our way down there.
Enola suddenly tickles the back of your neck with her fingers, and your spell slot returns.
Okay, no, actually I feel fine, so ignore that. Thank
Okay.
you. I don't know. Where did that come from? I look at Enola, and then as I'm saying it, and I look at hold on, who tickled my neck? I'm getting
Enola.
my own.
Enola.
Enola did it. Yeah. Okay. Did that
Yeah,
just
she
come
just
from?
kind of played with the hair at the base of your skull, just for a second, and your spell slot came back.
Thank you.
Glory's thinking, I got to get me one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You can stay. I kind of wink at her. Okay. No. I don't need to rest. I'm.
You got
I'm
a
ready.
heading for us?
It doesn't work that way. I mean, do I recognize? Could I have seen anything of where the ship was in comparison to where we are, in comparison to the land, or to give any?
You know,
I mean,
as
the
part of
wormling, I
scrying,
suppose, saw
you
the
know
boat,
that
but-
if you were to go into the temple and just follow the main path through the temple, that it would pretty much just lead to him.
It's not like through, because you mentioned a thermal vent. He didn't go through into the heated vent, did he?
No, so the vent, as I said, diffuses through the structure of the temple.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
no vent visible from outside of the
there's
temple.
just that hazy ripple coming from various
Just-
vents, essentially.
Yeah,
through-
just a little bit here and there, so much that it's almost impossible to see from a distance. It looks it's dramatic and torrent on the inside, but then it just comes out through little wisps around
Yeah.
the temple, which is easy to miss at a distance.
Yeah.
You know that he's in a big chamber, like the main chamber, and you know that based on what Athena said before, you just need to follow the main corridor. Go into the biggest entrance and just follow that through, and you'll go into this grand chamber.
Yeah. So, to be honest, the fact that he just sunk that ship like it was nothing, and all those crew, makes me think that either he or this thing has managed to tame these other creatures, so that because he's not getting attacked, or he's just up and murdered them all. But either way,
Well,
I'd
certainly,
like-
He's
I
not
don't
being
recommend
attacked.
that you fight through them, says Enola.
No.
I
But
don't
you do
think
have
that's
one
a good
thing that you
idea
didn't
either.
have. You do have one thing that you didn't have before, and when it comes to making a distraction, I think it's going to count. You have me.
You're not a distraction. I mean, you are a bit of a distraction.
I mean, you're very much a distraction.
Shut up. Well, yeah, no, okay, but you should.
She's an all-powerful princess.
Yeah.
And
She's
how many
still...
things can we conjure between all of us?
And to be fair, the
I'm good for a
Modrons are
bunch of
not going
plesiosaurs.
to. And if you think about it, if she's neck deep in fighting these things when the timer runs out, and the Modrons show up to take her away, the Modrons are going to go through those things like a hot knife through butter because nothing's stopping them from returning her. That's what they're designed to do. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
She goes up and gives the farewell a peck on the cheek and goes, I knew you'd get there eventually.
I died yesterday.
Oh, enough already.
Enough about the I died.
All
we
right,
get it,
okay,
Cadwin,
let's-
you died.
It might not be just yesterday at this rate. We were about to jump in.
I was going to
again.
say, when it's your turn, we'll see how blasé you are all about it because you know.
I remember the very first day we joined the Green Organization. You nearly died. Like, you scared me enough. Thank God you're not dead.
In my chest.
But
Who
you're
does that?
And Cora, who doesn't have no medical experience.
I was trying to save your life. Oh, we're not going there. Okay, moving on. Now I'll rub
Anyway.
salve in you this time. Just don't die again, okay? You can't die a second time. You've done it once. Tick that box. Moving on.
Nola
Okay,
says,
what the hell's the plan?
we need to time this carefully. We have 3 hours remaining. We have 3 hours before I get called back.
Well,
Let's
okay,
make it count.
do
Okay,
we?
Yes.
There is something about the fact, though, that the Modrons turning up could actually be really helpful, although we don't know how long this ritual takes. If it takes less than 3 hours, then that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, considering that he's probably been here a day or two ahead of us at least.
Yeah.
We need to get going.
We need to go.
Yeah. We need to go.
Okay. We were able to talk underwater last time somehow when we did the breathing. Didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we did do it RP wise, but I don't know if we.
Don't think about it too much. The magic just does what it needs to do, and
Okay.
you can just talk, and it just kind of happens.
It makes
So we
us
can plan.
breathe water. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, don't use your green badges. Not for what you're thinking. It's just that it'll only work for the 3 of you. It won't work for me. Mine's in my bag of holding, and it's staying in there. So you
Fair
won't be able
enough.
to use that to contact me.
I will take it out then so we can contact you.
No, it's staying in its bag.
Just take it out, Farrell. Stop being a baby.
Yana looks at the
Stop being a baby.
starts
Take it
looking
out.
in the one of the chests, and she goes, "What was it that you said, Thena? You said, sorry, not Yana. Sorry, Katya." Looks through one of the chests. And she goes, "What was it that you said, Thena? They can detect the difference between a humanoid and a fish moving through the water. Sounds like they've got pretty sensitive ears to me." And she pulls out a powder keg.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't find a fault in that plan.
I mean, us all becoming deaf, we need to protect ourselves if we're going to do that. Or are you going to drop that in first and then we jump?
I was going to say that usually goes before we do.
Yeah.
So, looking up at you with a powder keg and a grin that only a near 7 foot tall, muscular half-orc woman can muster.
With a broken jaw.
Maniacal grin on her face. We're going to leave the story there. A big thank you to Kate, Felicia, Nick, and Corinne for their story today.
This can only end well.
And for all of you watching at home, a couple of reveals first. First of all, the Dreadmerc. I didn't describe it as that, but that was the subscriber twist that you managed to evade. You didn't actually meet it. You got away from it.
You think you get ultimate power? No, we will defeat you.
So that they voted 2 things. They voted the Sahurgan shipwrecking party, which is the one that nearly did it for farewell, and the second one is they saw it as sea wraiths, because I didn't want to reveal anything. But that was the Dreadmerc. And if you went on there, it would have been effectively a murder mystery.
Ooh.
Because they wouldn't have attacked you.
Let's go back.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Can we do it on the way back? Can we just do it on the way back?
Let's sail deliberately into the giant death cloud.
Yeah!
Totally sensible.
And totally
This is
trust
why I
that
mentioned it,
Simon's
is that
correct.
If you're up for it, I'll do it as a one-shot at some point, because it's a murder mystery on a haunted ship where as long as you keep doing the right things, none of them will attack you. So if you want to do
we won't do the right things, though.
I was about to say when
as a one shot.
Yeah, I was about to say even if we weren't playing the giant chaotic clusterfuck of the characters that we're all currently playing, there's no way on earth we do it right. I mean, come on.
I mean, I have
a
class act investigation skill. My passive investigation, is 22.
Doesn't mean you do the right things. It means that
We are
I don't care
talking
what your
about
stats are, your
this
decisions are your
party.
decisions. Your characters may be capable, but the players can still fuck everything up.
Exactly.
And
So
it's us we're talking about. If anyone is gonna fuck it up, it's us.
So there's a bit of a nautical theme at the moment, being that the Benefactor crew are currently on the sea, dangerous place though it is. Just as a quickie, if you type in !mark loot, all one word, or !mark cannon into the chat, some things will turn up. And that is because we're going to be doing some pirate one-shots and some pirates and the pirate 10-parter that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, where you, the viewers at home, get to be part of the crew. We have sailors, we have skags, skags being the sailors you have on pirate ships. And I'm putting a few things into Nightbot which will allow you to interact with the game. I don't want the sea battles to be hugely protracted. I'm learning the lessons learned by the lovely Jason, who is the DM of Flintlocks and Fireballs. But I do want you to have some interaction. So when the master gunner of the group, which will be a player character, shouts fire, you all, as the skags and the crew, get to fire your cannons. And then later on, when you get to loot things, you'll be able to grab some loot and bring it to the ship as well. Some of you, there we go, number 41, you find a letter of marque. The Drowned Kings give you the port operative Discord role. None of these will kick off today. So this is just a trial, but if you do it during the game, you will get those Discord you'll get those Discord things. You may also notice that if it isn't working with !mark cannon, it's because you can only do it once per minute to stop people spamming it a bit too much. And so we're going to iron out the kinks with regard to that, so that all of the listeners can fire cannons, they can do all sorts of stuff and affect the game. Okay? So we're doing a little more than channel points now. We're going to be throwing a few extra bits in as well. And yes, I had to do...
Your character now has a pet parrot with arm.
Oh, yeah, there's... Oh, yeah, so... this isn't just the story of the player characters. Each of the viewers gets to play an NPC. Okay, so whether you want to use your handle or if you want to have an alias, one of the players in the 10-parter will be responsible for keeping the crew roster. And that is that they know all the listeners and the things that they got. So, so in this case, Hermit would have an NPC member of the crew with a pet parrot.
I think Hermit wants his pet parrot.
I think this is going to go down rather well.
Hermit's going to have to come and watch the show.
Come and watch the show, because all of the roles that you have at the moment mean nothing. And each of the players will have an alternative thing that they have to do. So whether it's they are writing down the loot that they're picking up, or that they are keeping the crew roster, each of you, when you're going to be watching this game, when it comes up, and I'm still finalizing the players now, make sure that when you're watching that you have a little notepad or something like that nearby, so that when you do things like collecting the loot and things like that, you'll be able to do it. Also, I don't think any of them have come up yet, but there are things that can happen where you will end up either as an NPC being thrown in the brig, or being promoted to do something, or being made to swab the decks because you failed in something. So here we go. You find a consignment of explosives and take it back to the ship. What will the players use this for? No smoking near the barrels, please. That actually becomes something that's on the ship. For good or bad, you bring an explosive onto the ship.
Stop spamming it! Stop spamming it! Stop it! We're gonna get too many spoilers. Save it for the game. That's awesome, though. I love it.
The crew is pissed now.
So that's a. I have not been completely lazy recently. Have been writing, but just not been able to drive them home and do the one shots like I've been meaning to. So this is So if we stop now, I think Hermit is not going to rescind his parrot.
Yeah, I promise you, Hermit, you can have your pet parrot.
Making promises on
but it won't have plot armor. No.
No, it won't have plot armor.
You can have the parrot, but not the plot armor. Yeah. Okay, and so that's how we're going to work it. And there's a couple of other bits I'm going to throw in there as well, so that when the chaos goes off of this Forsaken adventure, you all get to have a little more interactivity with it as well.
Do you have a plan, Simon, for when that is? What day of the week and when it's going to start?
I need
or
to
anything
go
like that?
I need to go into the content creators channel in Discord, find out who my players are,
Right.
and then
It's
between the players
going
decide
to
which day
happen. We
it's
just
gonna
don't know when.
be. Yeah.
Keep
So-
tuned
Wait,
on
you
the
need to
Discord and here.
Get days coordinated with what the players are able to do and stuff.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's my priority at the moment, is getting that sorted out. So
That's awesome.
I've written the adventure, which is the most essential part. I've got way too many NPCs already plugged into my spreadsheet. As I said, there were 31 NPCs that I did for this session. Should you go in to do the Dread Merc, which I may recycle, and so yeah,
Yes, because
we'll
we
do that.
completely avoided it.
And
We
so,
are good players.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a few bits that I need to do. As I say, once we got the players, once we got the day, and I need Felicia to adjust one of the frames for it as well, so we can have written in there who is in the brig, who is swabbing the decks. Not swabbing the decks, the crow nest, in the crow nest, and also there is an honourable position, the spy master, which is not a player position. It's actually an NPC position. And that allows them to do rolls if you send them out on missions. So anybody right now could do !D20. I've been a busy boy. And it will roll a D20 for that person as well. So there you go. You rolled a 14. So decided to give a bit of extra love for the... it didn't work for Steg. I need to bring that down. It may be that you need to wait 5 seconds, Steg. Try that again.
It might have a bit so you can't spam.
Yeah, he'll have the anti-spam lock in, so
Yeah.
the bot isn't completely spamming chat out.
Okay, it's probably a minute. I'll bring that back down because I can go into Nightbot and sort that out. And it may actually be on moderators only as well. Again, I need to go and do the final touch-ups of that, but it looks like it's going in the right direction, so we can have a little more interactivity with our viewers, and you can be in the adventure with them. Oh, there we go. Yep, it did work for...
Yeah, I just waited.
It's a minute. I'll bring it down to 5 seconds for that. I don't mind D20. Just please don't spam it too much, because we want chat to be chat as well.
You can. We'll figure out the logistics.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
We
we'll
can
do that.
tweak it every week as well.
Yeah, cool. Right, so
That is a tale for another day, for we are sleepy D&D
we
players.
are very sleepy D&D players. So if you haven't done so already, follow us. If you haven't joined our Discord, do so. It's great.
Please do.
We're
You
there.
get to do things like vote on special things that the DM will throw at us that we will then do our bestest
That's
to
if you're a
avoid.
subscriber, but yes.
That's it.
Come to
But
the
otherwise
Discord
you get
even
to
if you're
chat with
not a
us.
subscriber, and you get to see us throw stupid memes and talk about food and games and
My current new sewing obsession.
yeah.
And please
gonna
do,
be the
please
next
do
Jordan.
join us for the memes because I am currently the sole meme lord and I need people.
Yes,
You are the meme lord, yeah.
I'm
Do the
always
memes
like
in a-
really tempted to just make like a room that's called about
No!
Don't shackle him.
Nick,
No,
Give him
we
his
will not do-
expression.
We will not.
Nick's meme
be,
room where he can send all these memes.
No,
We will not be
do
censored.
that.
We'll
The
just
memes
watch.
shall be free.
They're not censored, they're just not clogging up the chat.
You
The
will not
memes
send
Yep, the chat.
the
They are breaking it up.
memes.
They're like they're refreshing.
They're usually so random. I'm like, I don't get it.
I learn things from those
I need
memes.
to. I need them explained.
Sometimes I have to
Like
go
a
into Urban
meme
Dictionary and then
explainer.
have a lie down, but I learn things from this.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's wrap
My
this up.
favorite one is my Darkest Dungeon. I think that's single-handedly the greatest thing. I want Darkest Dungeon booty shorts.
None of us played
True,
Darkest
I want
Dungeon, and we're
those
very
too.
confused.
It's fantastic. Those are the greatest quotes to ever have on your booty.
Yeah.
I mean, with things like "Death is patient, it will wait" on your badonkadonk. I mean, what more?
What more do you
Anyway.
want?
I have a feeling this is only going to go down. There's a phrase in Welsh, and that is "this shovel only digs down."
Thank you so much, Jordan, for playing.
Or like the task ahead is terrible, and weakness will
Good
not
night.
that cannot be tolerated.
Our next
Fantastic.
Our next game is on Tuesday at 8 p.m. where we will be rejoining Felicia, Corinne, because I can't get rid of them, Paul and Ed for Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl. Completely different chaos, but meant with the same love. We will see you then. Good night.
Bye.
And some of the same players because you can't get rid of us. You
Indeed.
love us.
Bye.